Doing a throw for the end zone. Touchdown. Parker. Lift off. By Xavier Howard. Tagovailoa trying to make up for it. Fires to the end zone. Touchdown.
That's hard work. What is good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy, and we're back, and it's looking like it's going to be the same thing as last week. I'm going to be here tonight, obviously, as you see in front of you, and then tomorrow I'm going to be back with the center big board. And just a quick update, after what happened with Fluker, I don't think we're going to be doing a tackle big board. I'll probably be doing linebacker instead. And then I'll be back on Thursday night. I have a show planned. We'll go over, and then on Friday, I'll do an open show again. Well, I'll do an open show this time. Last time I just kind of I was rolling with Damien, Rhino, EM, and Martin, and we had such a good conversation. It was popping off so well that I didn't open up the show to you guys, but I probably will open it back up on Friday. And then we get into next week, and I'll be dropping the linebacker big board, like I mentioned, instead of a tackle big board. And we'll have my version 2.0 of my mock draft as well. And if we have time, I'll sneak in a open show, but I might take one of those days off because I know Tuesday I got to record the finish line. And then obviously Thursday, I will be right back here with Ryan Roberts, Jeremy Klump, Kevin Dern, I believe Mr. Ballgame will be joining as well, and we will have a draft panel for night one of the draft, and I also have a little special surprise in the works, hopefully, if everything works out. And then, I'll be back here on night 2 with me and Dante Colinelli, and then night 3, it'll be me here again back for the draft. So we got busy, well, a couple weeks right now, including this week ahead of us, so keep it locked in here. You already know what time it is. I hope everyone is doing absolutely well tonight. Shout out to the Minnesota judicial system for actually getting the verdict right, and shout out to every one of those jurors for getting the verdict right. Derek Chauvin, I hope you rot and burn in hell. You deserve nothing less. And all of you defending him, i.e. Roadrunner, who people used to see in here, who I blocked a long time ago, I hope you burn and rot in hell as well for starting to try and hashtag free Derek Chauvin. I hope you burn. I hope you rot. And I hope you have a terrible rest of your life because you're a piece of shit. Other than that, I hope everyone is doing well tonight, man. Shout out to Tilly, Barry, Florida born, Damien, Justin, Ramon, Omar Brown, Gorillas don't like licorice. That's amazing. Marino's goat, everyone in the Justin, my draft panel for night 1 is booked up. So I'm not going to be I'm already over it right now. So, we'll see how it rolls on throughout the week here. Like I said, on tomorrow I'll be doing my big board for centers, which is done. I'm just going to clip some stuff together. And then Thursday I'm going to be bringing, I haven't figured out whether it's going to be top 5 or top 10, but I already have some names on it. It's going to be basically players the Dolphins should stay away from drafting this year. So we'll see how that goes. All right. So let's start talking about clearly the biggest news, and 142 of you in that room. Go ahead, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't. Let's go ahead and let's talk about obviously the biggest news that came out yesterday. And that is that the Miami Dolphins, they went ahead and they signed DJ Fluker of Baltimore. He played in Seattle before that, and he was drafted by they were the San Diego Chargers when they drafted him. But DJ Fluker is now a Miami Dolphin. So let's go ahead and let's talk about this. So the interesting little tidbit here you'll notice is they listed him as an OL. They didn't put him as a guard. They didn't put him as a tackle. He's obviously played right guard. He's played right tackle. I'm going to be doing a little bit of a film breakdown of him and Will Fuller in May, as well as I'll be doing some film breakdowns of some of the rookies we draft, probably all the rookies we draft. But DJ Fluker is now a Miami Dolphin. Now, the interesting topic here is where do you draft him? Where do you put him? My bad, draft him. Draft on the mind, people. Where do you put him? Do you play him at right tackle and kick Hunt in, or do you play him at right guard? Now, I'm going to say this, okay? So, so far over his career, he was drafted in 2013, right? He's allowed 24 sacks. When you talk about as a right tackle, 14 of those came as a right tackle. 10 of those obviously came from the interior. He's allowed 150 hurries and 81 of those have come as a tackle. When you talk about pressures, he's allowed 194 pressures total during his career, and at tackle, 106 of those 194 came as a tackle. So, he's an average at best run blocker. Pass blocker. And when you go look at him as a run blocker, he's decent. He's all right. He has flashes here and there. He can pancake. He can maul. He's actually, the first year he was played at guard by the Chargers was probably his most effective year as a run blocker, but his actual rookie season and his sophomore season as a run blocker were pretty good. And last year as a run blocker, I would say, was better than his last 2 years in Seattle as a run blocker. But again, he's an average run blocker. I mean, we're not adding someone here that's going to move the needle or swing the pendulum. He's got good length to his frame. His feet, they're okay. Sometimes they do look heavy, especially in pass pro. I wouldn't sit here and, here's my issue. Okay, guys. The amount of talent we're passing up for signing a guy like this in this draft, because I know people want to sit there and say, oh, maybe he's going to be a swing tackle. Oh, maybe he's going to be depth. No, I think this guy's going to start. Just like Isaiah Wilson, I don't think they had ideas of him being a depth piece. I think they took a flyer on him to see if they could get legitimate starting snaps out of him. And I feel the same way with DJ Fluker. It's just the one good thing I will say is he will provide competition at the guard position and at the tackle position. So that's good. But, I mean, who's his real competition at right guard? Saul McKinley's naturally a left guard. I expect him and Flowers to battle it out. And then, when you look at the competition at right tackle, it's Jesse Davis, Robert Hunt, and Fluker if they want to involve him. So, personally, I hope, I don't know what I hope. He does pick up stunts better than a guy like Robert Hunt. That's for sure. But my whole issue here is, average talent, and we're probably passing up on a tackle early. You know what I mean? If you're going to ask me, who do I want to sign, DJ Fluker or draft Tevin Jenkins at 18? I mean, do we really even have to ask that question? Like, you go back and you watch him. You know what I mean? He's all right. You know what I mean? He has some good reps. Like, I know when he was with Seattle, he dominated Ndamukong Suh on a couple reps. I showed one of them today on Twitter. But again, this is no one you're going to write home about. And here's my thing, guys. If we pass on a tackle that's sitting there at 6 or 18, that's clearly an upgrade over anything we have on the offensive line right now, because we signed a guy like this, and then our offensive line comes out this year and it's average at best, ranking 22, 23, 24, I'm going to have a serious problem with this. You know what I mean? And here, I see, I just looked over and I saw Jansen asked, is Fluker better than Hunt at right tackle? I don't think he's much of an upgrade. I mean, he might be a little bit better in pass sets right now, given what we saw in Hunt's rookie season. But I would be willing, and you all know how I feel about Hunt kicking him in. I would be willing to see what Hunt gives me in year 2 in pass sets over what I'm going to get with DJ Fluker, because you already know what you're getting with DJ Fluker. That's the whole issue here. And, where does this leave? Let's say, okay, we know either Fluker or Hunt is the right guard, most likely. And Kinley will probably go to left guard. What do we do with Eric Flowers? I've been saying for quite some time, go target a team like the Seattle Seahawks and trade DJ Fluker there. DJ Fluker. Trade Eric Flowers there. Get that cap off the books, because you can't cut him. The guy's got like an $11 million cap hit if you cut him. So we can't cut him, even as a post-June designation. So, obviously they didn't sign Fluker long-term or to a lot of money, or that would have came out. I don't know, man. Are we passing up on talent that's going to be there at 18? Here, let me put it this way. I'm not a huge fan of Jalen Mayfield. Okay, I think Jalen Mayfield is basically Robert Hunt 2.0. But, I mean, you could have drafted that guy, and again, I'm not a huge fan, and kicked someone in. Either him or Hunt. You know what I mean? You could have drafted Spencer Brown in the mid-rounds, a natural right tackle. Hell, you could have drafted Daniel Fallell out of Minnesota, the former rugby player, and seen what you had there. I don't know, man. I just don't see. I don't know, man. Everyone's reporting that this means we're probably not drafting a tackle early, and I would probably, lean that route too. I don't think we're taking a tackle in our first 4 picks. I don't, because of patchwork. They think they could probably get through with this. So, and Jeff Jackson named some teams. There's some legitimate teams that need O-line help. The Raiders, the Chargers, Minnesota, Chicago, Indy, the Steelers, Green Bay, Carolina. If Sewell drops to 8, makes a ton of sense. So, I don't know. I'm just sitting here saying it kind of, everyone is like, hit me up, DMing me, oh, is this guy good? Nothing to write home about. Nothing at all to write home about. I got no issue with the guy. But this guy would be better served as a depth piece. The problem is, when you look at our offensive line, where's the depth, let alone where's the vets? Him and Skura are the only, and I guess Flowers are the only vets on that offensive line right now that have starting capability. Jesse Davis is more of a swing guy. So, I don't know. We'll see how it pans out. Clearly, at least he's going to bring competition to camp. Maybe he pushes Hunt. Maybe he ends up being the starting right guard that we found. Here you go. We'll see how it goes. But overall, I wasn't doing Landon Dickerson backflips behind Mac Jones over this signing. It was just an signing to me. And it seemed like a patchwork signing so they could get away with not drafting a tackle or an offensive line piece in the first 4 picks. That's what I read into it. So we'll see how that rolls. But hey, welcome to Miami, DJ Fluker. You know, show us something. Be the sturdiness that we need. Okay, and then we're gonna get into 2 things here right now. We're gonna get into a tweet, and then I'm gonna show a little bitty video about what's going on with the 6th pick right now. So last night, or should I say yesterday, because it was still technically 5:40 Eastern, Ian Rappaport tweeted that the Dolphins have already made 2 moves in the NFL draft, and they may not be done yet. Sources say they've received calls from teams looking to trade up to number 6, and it's something they're considering. Lots of things in play, but Miami could be added again. I mean, whew. These guys are playing with fire. It makes you think, I read that, and this says to me they either have intel that Pitts won't be there, or they're moving back because they think one of those Bama boys is going to be there. So, I mean, playing with fire, though. You're playing with fire. But let's get into the video that I said I wanted to share with you guys. They are playing with fire, though. I mean, how much more are you going to trade back? Like, we're going to accumulate another pick. So here is, let's go over Ian Rappaport today on the NFL Network.
That's probably the scenario that's at play here. If the Miami Dolphins at 6, if they like who's there, let's say it's Kyle Pitts falls to them at 6, they would have a hard time, I would imagine, just based on my knowledge, trading out of taking Kyle Pitts. And probably for a lot of people, he might be everyone's favorite player in the draft, not named Trevor Lawrence. But let's say there's a couple quarterbacks there, and Kyle Pitts is gone. Then what the Dolphins did is they had the 49ers pay them a premium for a quarterback early. Now they might get someone to pay a premium for a quarterback again, so they might actually benefit from 2 teams trading up for a quarterback, get more picks, more ammo, and still stay within that area where they could get a premium player. That's why the Dolphins wanted to trade back to 6, so they could still be in the mix.
So the Miami Dolphins are basically, from what Rappaport is describing there, they're kind of banking that a quarterback is going to fall. Now, I still do believe, whether we want to believe it or not, that quarterbacks are going to go 1 through 4, because Atlanta, it makes sense if they take the heir to Ryan's throne, or even take a guy like Penei Sewell. I know they got Jake Matthews on the left, kick him to the right side. And then now both your sides are locked down. But, or if they got Rashawn Slater hired, go ahead, knock yourself out. But I don't see Kyle Pitts going 4. And Rappaport mentioned Kyle Pitts' name in that. I still think this would be smart for them. If they are thinking of trading out of 6, make this move on draft day. I would not be sitting there trying to make this move pre-draft without seeing how the board starts to fall. Because if quarterbacks go 1 through 4 and then a tackle is taken at 5, you literally have your selection of the plethora of receivers available. Now, you could trade back with a team like Denver, which I don't think they want to, but then once you get past Denver, who are you going to trade with? The Eagles again? But they might take a receiver, right? You're not going to make a trade with the Patriots. And then you start getting into Washington at 19, Chicago at 20. Do they really want to fall back that far? And, 9 would make the most sense, but do you think a team's willing to move up on draft night for Mac Jones? Because the problem you run into now is, okay, Detroit could take Pitts or a receiver. They'll probably take a receiver. Well, they're probably going to take a receiver because they drafted TJ Hawkinson, right? And then when you get into the number 8 pick with Carolina, if a tackle is there they could go tackle. But if Pitts is sitting there, they could very well take Pitts because that's another weapon for that offense. Now, I know I've been on here harping on the fact that Greg Little isn't very good and they should probably take a left tackle, and they probably should, but crazier things have happened. If Sewell's gone or whatever and the best player available on their board is Pitts, could be very well be Pitts. That's a team where Greg Olsen made a living, right? So I don't know. I just think, I think the first 4 quarterbacks off the board are going to be Lawrence, Wilson, Fields. Wilson and Fields are interchangeable, and Trey Lance. You cannot sit there and convince me that Mac Jones is going to go before Trey Lance or Justin Fields. You just can't. And if they do, whoever does that in the top 4, especially San Francisco, who gave up all that capital to move up from 12 to 3, you are on the hot seat, my friend, because that guy is not going to work out. I mean, hey, it'll work out for us because that 2023 first they traded us, that's going to be a high pick if Mac Jones is your starting quarterback going into 2023. So I'm down for that. Let's go. But my whole thing is, I don't see Mac going in the top 5. I can't believe that, and let me ask you this. We all know where Drew Lock has been at. He's battled injury. He's had injuries happen around him. Is Mac Jones really an upgrade? Really? Is he really an upgrade over Drew Lock? I don't think so. Drew Lock's got a bigger arm. Mac Jones got that macaroni noodle arm. Macaroni noodle Jones. That's what I call him. So, yeah. And really, let me ask y'all this. Would you want to move off having your selection of Jamar Chase if he's there, Kyle Pitts if he's there, Waddle and Smith if they're there, for what? Another third? That might even be next year? Go get your guy. Like, seriously, go get your guy. Enough of playing around. Just go get your guy. Lock it in. Stop playing these games. You've already acquired an extra first. Some people are mad that you moved back out of 12 and you gave up another first, which I don't get. But, I mean, again, if those top 4 go that I named, do we all even see a team willing to give up a lot to move up for Mac Jones? Or, like, if I'm Denver, Detroit ain't taking a quarterback. Carolina ain't taking a quarterback. Am I really going to sit there and give up a lot to move up 3 spots if I really really tout Mac Jones, which I hope they don't? Am I going to give up a lot? Now, if it's Trey Lance that's sitting there, I think we're playing a totally different ball game. If Trey Lance is sitting there, then I think you can squeeze some capital out of a team. For sure. I don't even have a doubt about that. It's just a matter of how far back the teams are that are calling. Because why do you want to move back with Washington? I would be telling Washington, I would be telling Chicago, yo, turn your 19th or your 20th into a top 10 pick and then talk to me. Seriously. Target the Lions. Target the Denver Broncos. Turn that and then talk to me. I mean, that's where I'm at. So, yeah, we'll see how draft night unfolds. But it's gonna be an interesting night, that's for sure. It's gonna be that dial on hot fire. So I can't wait, man, to see all the moving pieces and how everything transpires. So here is another rumor, guys. Speaking of since we're on the topic of the draft right now, there's a rumor floating around, and it's a source close to Najee Harris has said the two most active teams with the future NFL player are the Dolphins and the Steelers. Now, I've been trying to tell y'all for quite some time now that Pittsburgh is just such an ideal fit in terms of he matches the prototypical guy they're looking for, right? And, that's why I sit here and say, if you're not taking that running back at 18, but you want Najee Harris, you're going to have to package that 36, and you're going to have to move up, because another team you're going to have to look out for is the Jets. You really all think the Jets are going in with LaMichael Pirine as their guy? Come on. Let's be honest with ourselves. So, you go to the 20s, the Jets, the Steelers. If you like Etienne, you got to include the Jaguars because there's the rumblings with them. And the Buffalo Bills are all serious threats as to taking one of those top 3 running backs off the board. Personally, if they don't have a plan to take a running back at 18, move the hell back up. Get back into the 20s. Target a team like Indianapolis. Move up. Go get your guy. If you're going to take a running back at 36, package a pick from next year and a pick from the year after, another second and a fourth, or a second and a fourth from next year with that 36 and move back up to 21. Why not? What do you really have to lose? If that's the guy you want, go get him. Stop letting the board settle it for you. I hate that, especially when you have needs. Ball out. The Jags got Robinson, but that's not apparently a factor what they're thinking right now. They're really in on Travis Etienne at 25 or at the top of the second because they want to make Trevor Lawrence as comfortable as possible by pairing him with his running back from Clemson. So, James Ryan making it run. Remember, James Robinson was a UDFA. What does that mean? He only has 2 seasons left. They draft a guy like Etienne at number 25. They got him for 4 years and a 5th option. They draft him at the top of the second. They got him for 4 years. 2 more years in James Robinson. And they could turn around and try to get capital back for James Robinson off of his rookie year. So, I wouldn't lock in James Robinson, different regime right now, right? So we'll see how it works out. Personally, they're not taking O-line at 6. I would go ahead and I would draft the best weapon available at 6. I would come back at 18. I would take either my edge rusher, or if Tevin Jenkins is there, I would take him still and have Fluker and Hunt battle it out for the guard spot. And then the loser basically can play tackle or guard for me if injury, knock on wood, injury arises. And then I'd move back up and I'd go get Najee or Javonte Williams or Travis Etienne, whichever flavor of the week they feel like tasting. So that's where I'm at. Screw it. Why pick 36 if you're going to target a running back anyways? You got 50 and 81 to tinker around with him. 50 is where I'd be taking my center. If they're targeting a center, 50 is where I'd be taking my center. Because I truly hope Skura and Dieter are not the long-term solution, or else we're going to be up that creek with no paddle, I think. So, there you go. A little update with Najee Harris as the smoke continues to circle around him in Pittsburgh. So, here is another thing. Let's talk about this, because remember, on Friday night, me, Martin, Rhino, shout out to Rhino. He got his 2nd shot today, and his vaccine shot. He's not feeling that well. Damien and EM, we talked about the Dolphins and them putting out the statement that they were going to opt out of the voluntary OTAs. Well, here we go. Basically, it came out from From the actions speak louder than words department. 3 days after collectively saying they stand in solidarity, with their peers who are skipping voluntary in-person workouts this offseason over health and safety concerns, a good number of Miami Dolphin players chose to attend the first day of voluntary in-person workouts, according to a source familiar with the organization. A surprising number of Dolphin players, including established veterans, decided to report Monday, the same day their union chief was stressing to reporters that those players were putting themselves at risk by doing so. NFLPA Executive Director Demore Smith said, "This is not a boycott. This is not a strike. This is not a labor action. Players have the right to make their own decisions. We made it clear that if players have money on the line, bonuses or de-escalators, we are never going to stand in the way of a player making a financial decision." But he later stressed in the call, "You are better off, you are safer by not going to organized team activities." The data NFLPA uses to back up that claim, a 23% drop in missed playing time in 2020 when there was no voluntary program, no mandatory minicamp, and no preseason. Two of those three items, let me take a sip. Compulsory minicamp and exhibition games are back in 2021 and won't go away unless it's collectively bargained. The league has shown no desire to do away with either completely, although the NFL did shrink its preseason from 4 to 3 games this year with the addition of a 17th regular season game. Players for years have griped about the voluntary in-name only offseason program, and with the pandemic still raging, many have decided to skip it. Roughly 2/3 of the league's teams have released statements pledging to either mostly or totally stay away from the respective team's training facility. The Dolphins statement was a bit vaguer than others, as it basically said, "Our team came together to discuss the current situation regarding COVID-19 and the lack of clear and timely protocols put in place by the NFL. The most significant fact from the discussion was the health and safety benefits of a fully virtual season." And they went on to talk about the league-wide injury data showed a 23% reduction in missed time. So it said, "For these reasons, the Dolphins stand in solidarity with players across the league." And basically said, "We'll hold each other accountable and making sure every player is getting their work in." And to be sure, attendance Monday, the first day of the program, was not 100%, but it also wasn't close to zero. Teams like the off-season program because they get 8 more weeks of in-house work with the players. But when the spring schedule went virtual due to the pandemic, the NFLPA saw an opening to make the change permanent. Just a small percentage of the 2-month program is spent in actual 11-11 practice. Players who participate will not spend much, if any, time in team headquarters for the first 4 weeks of the regimen. The first phase will be limited to virtual meetings with no on-field drills or work with coaches. During this time, clubs are to make every effort to have the vaccine available for players, staff, and families, the NFL said. From May 17th to the 21st, the league will allow some on-field drills with coaches, but the meetings will still remain virtual. That leads up to the 4-week third phase, which features 10 days of OTA practices in the mandatory minicamp. Meetings are allowed to be in person at that time, but teams can choose to continue holding them remotely. Those who skip the mandatory minicamp, should teams decide to still hold them, will be subject to a fine. The NFLPA is hoping to convince teams to cancel those practices altogether. The NFLPA president, J.C. Treader, said, "This doesn't make sense. It's unnecessary. It's not exactly safe. If we're in the middle of a pandemic, why are we doing things that are unnecessary?" Meanwhile, Smith and the union again said they will not make COVID-19 inoculation mandatory among their membership, but stress that everyone should get the vaccine. So, you guys remember, at least from what I remember last year, the Miami Dolphins, I remember we skipped a lot of that stuff, but the one thing that I do remember is the Bills didn't skip a lot of that stuff, and we saw how that affected them in the season. I mean, they went on to have a pretty damn good season, but they also formed that bond because they had longer time working together. Now, by no means am I sitting here saying, "Oh, you should go to this voluntary stuff." I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is, though, the benefits and the rewards that will be reaped are clearly obvious because the Bills reaped them a little last year. And the one thing we want with this team is continuity heading in to this season. So to each to their own with the vaccine, but in terms of continuity with this team, I think getting in the most time they can possible with each other, that matters, and that will show up on the field. So we'll see how it goes in terms of, with this team and with the workouts, because I'm sure we'll continue to get updates. And I'm sure eventually we're going to find out some of the participants, whether it be through Twitter, Instagram, whatever social media platform. I'm sure pictures will be posted. Let's not lie to ourselves right now. So, and Todd makes a good point, especially for our offense. Get as much time as you can in there together, right? The receiving core, the quarterback, these linemen heading into year 2, all that stuff matters. So we'll see how it works out. We'll see where it goes. All right. Now, all that said, we're about to get into my top 10 biggest busts in NFL draft history. And then after I'm done, I'm going to open up the show to you guys. You guys can come on and talk about your biggest busts. We can talk about the draft. We can talk about whatever. But before we get that, if you'd like to donate to the channel, paypal.me/Phinside. You can also use the super chat button in the comment section. Go ahead. If you see everyone with those little badges next to the name and using emojis you haven't seen before, that's because they're a member of the channel. If you look below me right now, you're going to see a button that says join. You can click on that. There's 3 different levels. You can also go in the description. There is literally a link there that'll take you directly to joining and becoming a Phinside the NFL member. And you can have access to all that. And like I said, in May, we're going to start up with some of those private streams. And then if you'd like to become a Phinside the NFL Patreon, patreon.com/Phinside the NFL. I've hit the magic round number of 40 Patreons. So I wanted to go ahead and shout out all the Patreons and all the members of this channel, because y'all are what keeps it moving. So shout out to Rhino, Sith, Fake Spike 94, KA All Day, Ramon Casillas, Seth, Mr. 2-Bit, Slim Pickens, Ricketic, Big Time, Red Dino, Marino's Goat, your boy Trev, Josh, Jazz 803, Martin, Zovega 75, Cap for Life, The Arkham Elf, Irving, Drew Boo, The Show, Jawar Thompson, Jeff Jackson, My T Dolphin, Ben Glassford, Andre Villarreal, Cody, J Love T, Todd, The Enigmatic One, Chocolate on Straw, Georgie Boy 23, Florida Born, Kentucky Grown, Michael Rodriguez, Dennis Klassen, Sharif, Soto, Philip LeDuc, Cody Patron, and Tommy Flores. If you are one of those names and you have not been modded yet, go ahead, drop a comment right now, and I will be sure to make you a mod, because being unless you're a special exception, whether it be a day one, someone I continuously talk with, someone I consider a friend in this community, you're not a mod. So go ahead, comment right now, say reason I'm a Patreon, I'm not a mod, and I will go ahead and I will make you a mod. No problem there. So patchvibes.com, use code Phinside to save 20% off your order. They supplied the shirt that I'll be wearing on draft night. They also supplied this shirt. You can go ahead and see it. If you're a GTA fan, y'all remember this is the GTA Miami Dolphins design that they have out right now. I know y'all have seen me wear the Marino and Mark Brothers shirt. I got that. I also got the Joe Robbie Stadium one. So go ahead, show some support. You get 20% off your whole order, and that's store wide at patchvibes.com. All right, now let's get into reasons, top 10 busts of the Dolphins draft history. Now, there's going to be some names left off because I'm only doing a top 10, clearly. So I'm probably going to miss some that y'all think should be on there, and that's why I'll open the show up. I'll give y'all the chance to come out here. I'll give y'all the chance to come up here and say who your draft bust is, or you can go ahead and you can just say in the comment section who your biggest draft bust is. Go ahead. Doesn't matter to me. But let's get into the top 10 busts of the Miami Dolphins. And let's start it off with number 10. So number 10 for me would be Josh Allen. I mean, like, let's be honest with ourselves. In 2006, the Miami Dolphins had moved off of Sam Madison and Patrick Surtain, looking to revamp their secondary. So with the 16th pick of that draft, they drafted Jason Allen. Problem was he was an awful as a corner, and when they tried to move him safety, he was just as awful. He also held out over a contract dispute with the Dolphins during his rookie training camp, showing early on he only cared about his own damn self. This was a Nick Saban pick who also tried to recruit Allen to LSU, but he instead chose Tennessee. To make matters worse, he was chosen before Antonio Cromartie, the two-time Pro Bowler Jonathan Joseph, who was also corner, running back D'Angelo Williams, wide receiver Greg Jennings, cornerback Devin Hester, and running back Maurice Jones-Drew. Josh Allen only started 19 games from 2006 to 2010. So, yeah, he was a big bust. He wasn't very good at all. Goodbye, Josh Allen, you absolute bust of a human being. Number 9, Eddie Moore. So Eddie Moore, the Dolphins traded a lot for Ricky Williams, including their 2003 first-round pick. But in the second round of that 2003 NFL draft, the Miami Dolphins selected linebacker Eddie Moore 5 picks ahead of Anquan Bolden. And if they really wanted to go defense, O.C. Umenyiora was selected by the Giants and only 7 picks after Moore was. Lance Brigg, another linebacker who was amazing in Chicago, went 68, and future Hall of Famer Jason Witten went 69. This was an awful pick, and it showed up on the field as Eddie Moore only played 18 games and posted 35 tackles in that span before we sent his ass packing. And yeah, I meant Jason Allen. I don't know why I had Josh Allen. It was Jason Allen. My bad. Ready to beat those Bills. So, yeah. Eddie Moore was number 9 for sure. And my bad, I screwed up. It was Jason Allen, not Josh Allen. Just mine all over the place. So, shout out to Eddie Moore for really not giving us anything more to talk about because he was absolute trash. So the 9th biggest Dolphins draft bust, Eddie Moore. Number 8, John Beck. Beck was supposed to be the quarterback of the Cam Cameron era, but he was anything but that coming out of BYU. He literally posted almost identical numbers to Josh Rosen. He was 0-4 as a starter, 5 games total played. He was 60 of 107 with a 56.1 completion percentage, 559 yards, 1 touchdown, and 3 interceptions during his time with the Miami Dolphins. He also threw a touchdown on 0.9% of his attempts and an INT on 2.8% of his attempts. I mean, Beck's age was already a major concern coming out of BYU, but his play ended up being an even greater one. John Beck was truly, truly a bust, especially for a team that was as quarterback hungry as the Miami Dolphins were at the time. And I remember John Beck coming out, like trying to sell us on the hype, and I bought into it for a sec. And then I saw him play. I was like, yo, this guy is absolute freaking trash. All right. Next one. Number 7. And that would be Pat White, the first left-handed quarterback we drafted before Tua Tagovailoa. I mean, where do we begin with Pat White? The hit that knocked him out of the league but kept him forged in Dolphins fans' minds forever. Pennington and Chad Henne were Dolphins when they selected the West Virginia quarterback, who was also an outfielder drafted in the 4th round of the 2004 MLB draft by the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. He's also drafted in 2009 by, I believe, the Yankees. He played less games than Eddie Moore in his career, only 13. And he want to know something? He never completed a single pass at the NFL level. All right. To make it even worse, LaShawn McCoy went 9 picks later. White was selected 40 picks ahead of Mike Wallace and 45 picks ahead of Jared Cook, who's actually still enjoying an NFL career at tight end. Pat White was so trash that I don't even know if he's come out of that coma yet from when he got knocked to Sunday on the sidelines. Pat White was so bad, was such a terrible pick. What a wasted pick he ended up becoming. Jesus. All right, number 6, and that would be Charles Harris. Harris, he was taken with the 22nd pick of the first round in 2017. He was absolutely awful and underwhelming. He posted only 3.5 sacks in 3 years until he was eventually traded to Atlanta for a 7th round pick. And remember how happy we were that we even got a 7th for this jabroni? What's made it even look worse is how TJ Watt was still on the board and eventually selected at 30th overall in Pittsburgh, and the career he's had in Pittsburgh that he started to put together, even being a defensive player of the year candidate last year, makes this pick even more disgusting. We won't get it. I know at the time a lot of people wanted Reuben Foster too. Now Reuben Foster, obviously because of legal issues and injuries, he ended up becoming a bust himself. But shit, Reuben Foster, at least coming out of Alabama, made a lot more sense. You know what I mean? When you watch the tape of Reuben Foster, that guy was hitting like a freaking absolute freight train. So, yeah, I Charles Harris, wherever you are, you absolute jabroni. My God. What a waste of a pick. But it gets worse, if you could believe it or not. The number 5th biggest Dolphins draft bust is Eric Kumaro. Now, we're about to get into the Shula bust. Kumaro was a huge bust by Shula. I mean, he only played in the Dolphins jersey for 3 years like Charles Harris, but he managed to record an extra, sack and a half compared to Harris, totaling 5. He was drafted higher, though, at 16th overall. And what makes it such a bad pick is how bad the run game was for Miami at the time, as well as the fact Shula drafted John Bosa, another huge bust, Joey Bosa's father there, the Bosa's father there, the year before. And we talk about the run game. Thurman Thomas was still on the board when the Eric Kumaro pick happened, and he went 24 picks later while going on to have not only a Hall of Fame career, but Thurman Thomas was a major catalyst to the Bills going to 4 straight Super Bowls with Jim Kelly while beating Dan Marino a few times along the way in the playoffs. Thomas and Marino could have won legit championships together, but Shula's lack of emphasis on figuring out the run game cost the team titles, no matter how you put it, no matter what you want to say. So Eric Kumaro, man, if we had Thurman Thomas, oh my God, it's just unbelievable that we ended up drafting this absolute jabroni right a year after Bosa. What a waste of a pick. Well, let's keep it going with wastes of a pick. The number 4th biggest draft bust in Dolphins history is Yetzel Green. Now, he's arguably the worst ever receiver. Well, not even arguably. He probably is the worst ever wide receiver drafted by the Dolphins. Yes, even worse than Ted Ginn Jr., who's not on this list because at least Ted Ginn Jr. went on to be productive in Carolina and have a somewhat lengthy career. Yetzel Green was drafted with the 15th pick in 1997. Green didn't play a single snap during his rookie season due to tearing his ACL. And once he returned for his sophomore season, it didn't get any better as he suffered a season-ending tear in the same ACL once again during training camp. In his 3rd season with the Dolphins, He caught only 18 passes for 234 yards and no scores and was cut after the season. During Green's stint, he had just as many surgeries on his right knee, 10, almost as he did catches, 18. He eventually signed with the Jets, but was cut before the season started, and then he's picked up by the Raiders the following year, only to be cut again before the end of training camp. To make it even worse, the Dolphins passed up on Tiki Barber and Corey Dillon for Green, as well as Rondé Barber was still on the board. If not for the Sam Madison and Jason Taylor picks in this 1997 draft, this draft probably would have gone down as one of the worst in Miami Dolphins history. So, Yatil Green, you might have had an odd and unique name, but god damn, you were terrible. Whew. Whew. Never get over that one, that's for sure. All right. The third biggest bust in Dolphins history, going back to the Shula days here, is Sammy Smith. Now, another whiff for Shula at the running back position. Sammy Smith was a 9th overall pick of the 1989 draft and was an absolute disaster in the backfield. Smith was taken before players like Trace Armstrong, Steve Atwater, Eric Metcalf, and Andre Rison. He also had 17 fumbles during his 3 seasons with the Dolphins, yet only managed to score 15 touchdowns, and 2 of those fumbles coming in absolutely crucial games against the Chiefs and the Oilers in his rookie 89 season. Smith only played 3 seasons in Miami before he went to Denver for 1 season and was then out of football. And then he proceeded to be convicted of 2 counts of possession and trafficking cocaine in 1996. Can you say winner? Sammy Smith defined fumbleitis. The guy was so fucking bad, it was a disgrace that we picked him as high as we did. And Fake Spike says he didn't fumble the cocaine. No, but his lawyer fumbled the charges, and he went to the Bing for like 7 years, I think it was. So Sammy Smith, somehow you managed to beat out a guy like John Avery and get put on this list. So good on you. I hope you never became a waiter, because the amount of food you would have fumbled on the way to tables probably would have had you fired in the first day. I mean, you talk about Butterfingers. This guy should have been the spokesperson for the freaking chocolate bar. Never mind Bart Simpson in the 90s. It should have been Sammy Smith. Jesus, good God, Sammy Smith. You are the definition of a trash bin. I want you to know that. All right. Number 2. The second biggest Dolphins draft bust. And a lot of this is because of who we passed up for him. Jamar Fletcher. Like, where do we begin? Jamar Fletcher cost the Miami Dolphins a chance at a franchise quarterback and helped keep the Dolphins in a state of poor to mediocre quarterback play for over a decade. Selected 26th overall in the 2001 draft, the Dolphins passed up on drafting future Hall of Fame quarterback Drew Brees, who went at 32 to the Chargers for this complete and utter bust. They also passed on Reggie Wayne, Todd Heap, and Chad Ochocinco too as well to make this pick. What made this pick even more mind-blowing was the Dolphins didn't even draft for need here. Patrick Surtain and Sam Madison were the starting cornerbacks at the time. Why did we draft it? Like, what's going on? The Bill Parcells idea, because I believe it was Wanstead, of you can never have too many corners. Well, yes, you can. When you're drafting Jamar Fletcher, you have enough corners. Okay? Fletcher only played with the Dolphins from 2001 to 2003. He played in 41 games and only started 6 of them. He barely contributed defensively. He only had like 3 interceptions, I think. And when he did play, it was why was he even on the field? You might as well put a pylon out there. And he'll always be shamefully remembered as the bust we passed up on a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback for. The Dolphins would have a shot again at Breeze in 2006, but instead signed Dante Culpepper. And boys and girls, we all know how that one turned out. Good God Almighty. So, Jamar Fletcher, my God, you suck. You suck. That's one guy, if we ever see in the street Dolphin fans, just open hand pimp slap him. Okay? Not even for, it's not his fault that the scouting department got it wrong, but for even existing for the scouting department to get it that wrong, it deserves a pimp slap. Good God. Anyways, I'm sure y'all can guess where we're at right now. The number one biggest Dolphins draft bust is Dion Jordan. My God, I remember this draft. I even got a Dion Jordan jersey. Okay. He's a clear-cut biggest bust that Miami Dolphins ever drafted. The Miami Dolphins traded up in the 2013 NFL draft to acquire him with the Oakland Raiders pick. And instead of taking future Pro Bowler Lane Johnson, like who I thought they were taking, and I'm sure a lot of you thought they were taking, they took Dion fucking Jordan. I mean, we don't even need to talk about the fact that DeAndre Hopkins, Darius Slay, Zach Ertz, and others were on the board at the time of this selection. Dion Jordan barely made a blip on the radar in his rookie season and basically barely made a blip on the radar during his whole stint in Miami, unless it was being in the news, as he recorded only 3 sacks and 46 combined tackles during that time. He was suspended twice in 2014 for violating the league's drug policy. Then again in 2015, which caused him to miss the whole 2015 season due to the 3-strike policy. And then he was reinstated in 2016, only to not even see the field that year. Jordan was finally released by the Miami Dolphins on March 31st, 2017, after the guy fails a physical. How do you fail a physical when you miss a whole year and you had time to get your body right? You fucking jabroni. Right? I guess all those illegal substances were what was keeping his body in peak physical condition during his time at Oregon and when we drafted him. Must have been the substances. I don't know who was bending him over in the stall and shooting him up the ass, with some roids, or who was puff passing him the doob. But my God, unbelievable freaking Dion Jordan. When you have as many substance abuse violations as you do sacks with the team that drafted you, that can't do anything but earn you the honor of biggest draft bust in Dolphins history. This guy literally had 3 violations and 3 sacks. Can you believe that? Has that even happened before? How's that even happened before? My God. Dion Jordan, you're probably the reason they're avoiding Penei Sewell, saying, oh crap, man, they probably have heart palpitations and aneurysms when they think about taking a player from Oregon. Oh my God. Absolute bust. So that's my top 10 busts in Miami Dolphins history. I'm going to open up the show. Let's hear what you guys have to say. My God. I'm all worked up now after going through that list of top 10. It really should be top 10 biggest draft jabronis of all time for us. But, I mean, here we are. I'm talking about Dion Jordan, on April 20th, 2021, on a Tuesday, which is supposed to be dog day. Hold on, let's go check. Let's go check here. Let's go. Hold on. Gotta go check. Dog going to the moon. Today's dog day. It's supposed to be going to the moon. Tis not going to the moon right now. That's for sure. All right. Damien, red comment. What's up, boys?
Fins up, my brother. Fins up, y'all.
Give it to me. Who did I miss, Damien?
Oh man. Well, you know what? I was thinking about this one
Chip?
guy because this was during Wani's era. When Wani was our coach. You know, one thing about Wani, we kept a top 5 defense. That's because of Jimmy Johnson's pick. He was Jimmy's defensive coordinator. I remember this guy. And I did a little looking up on him. Mr. Eddie Moore from out of Tennessee, linebacker. Now the trick.
Yeah, I had him at number 9.
Yeah, but I want to go back on what we passed up for him at the time. I want to see if these names ring a bell. Anquan Bolden, rookie of the year, broke the rookie receiving record.
I mentioned that, yep.
OC, I came in a little late. I'm sorry. OC, Lance Briggs, and Jason
Yomanura.
Yeah, man. But this one is what got me, and I discussed this one with you. And you explained why you didn't have him on the list. But what we passed up for this one guy, Mr. Ted Ginn Jr., who we drafted the Ted Ginn family. So we got to look at that. But look what we passed up. Patrick Willis.
Don't forget to turn those thumbs upside down, Damien.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Maybe that got me. Mr. Patrick Willis. Somebody named Beast Mode. Somebody that has people stuck on the island, Daryl Reeves. A solid linebacker who I believe we got later on in his career, Lawrence Timmons. A solid wide receiver in Dwayne Bowe. Brandon Merriweather. Oh, it doesn't stop there. John Beeson, a guy also who just retired who had a stellar career, Joe Staley, Ben Grubbs. Oh, let me give you another guy who's had a stellar career. Greg Olsen, Paul Puslowski, a solid linebacker. We passed up all that for damn Ted Ginn Jr. God.
And his family.
And his family. Yeah, because we got a great family. Let's turn those thumbs over, man. Oh, God. Great show, Reason. Great show, man.
Bro, you know how many people we've depressed with this show so far?
It's tough. Shula had a bad go at it. I mean, I know he's coached for a lot of years, but God, when he whiffed like.
Oh, so bad.
I thought Reason was just trying to set our expectations low so that we don't come away disappointed this year from the draft. Like, could it possibly be worse?
I don't know. Hey, like I said, Greer's the one that boosted up the Charles Harris pick after he made it.
Oh no.
Oh,
that's why I'm so scared to take a defensive end. I was saying in the comments just because I'm like, oh, please don't let us take Charles Harris at 18.
Bro, if we take Gregory Rousseau and I got to sit there and listen to them hype him up, I'll be going to throw up all over the screen.
Yeah, that's worst case scenario. I hope there's no way in the world they can do that at 18. I will fucking throw my phone.
Even 36, bro.
Yeah, I don't want to period.
Yes, keep whispering Najee.
I don't want him, period. God knows. I'm nervous now.
Well, he's just the definition of a risky pick. He took a year off. He was a 1-year wonder, and he didn't they have strength concerns with him too? That's like all like red flag.
Terrible.
Isn't it work ethic too? Like, isn't there some concerns with that, like drive or motor or something?
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. Oh man.
Wait.
Did we really?
Go ahead.
Did we really pass up Thurman Thomas for Sammy Smith?
And Randall McDaniel, another
bro.
Hall of Famer.
Oh my God!
I'm still over here,
bro.
I'm still over here reeling over the Patrick Willis, man. That's one of my favorite linebackers of all time, man.
Oh my God!
And Daryl Reeves hunted us his whole career. With both teams he was with.
It was Adrian Peterson. It was Patrick Willis. It was, I think, Darrell Reeves. There was a lot of great players from that draft, man. And
let me just say something real quick.
Oh my God!
When we traded up for Deion Jordan, I almost break my fucking TV. I just had I legit. I was like, I just didn't trust him. And then when he came, right when he failed the physical, he came in out of shape and shit. I was like, oh God, why did we draft this guy? And there's an honorable mention. I'm just gonna say his name, Jonathan Martin.
Yes.
That piece,
Oh,
wrecking our O line by himself.
Softly, that's softly.
He only not only he sucked, but he just ruined the whole locker room, man. That guy.
Oh yeah.
I could not stand. I was so glad when we just got rid of his ass. Shout out to the Joe Philbin era, man, because that was just my God, worst years as a Dolphins fan. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
Wait for a reason to bring us down to reality. Everybody all happy, ready for the draft.
I know, man. What a downer. Hey, but that's not his fault, bro. That's the Dolphins organization, man.
Yeah, similar to Damien, my blunder I had that I was so pissed about was the year in 2010 we had the 12th pick and we traded down for Jared fucking Odrick.
Oh,
and we traded out and we passed up on ready for it, boys. Earl Thomas, Des Bryant, Brian Balaga, Jason Pierre-Paul,
man.
Yep.
Oh,
bro, I just had a you brought up back those horrible memories.
And real quick, just shout out to Pierre Paul for getting him a Super Bowl ring. You know, he been through a lot of crap, man. So you know, I'm glad for him.
Lost a finger.
Yeah, he lost fingers, not fingers.
4th of July is his worst holiday, man.
All right. Reason.
New Year's too.
Yeah.
Reason, I got a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so obviously I changed my pick, right? Because I had Sewell there all the time, and it just looks.
You can even use a jersey swap of Najee.
Yeah, I did put it on yet. No, because hey,
Drew, it's good.
Here we go.
Just to be safe. No,
I know. It's just so much smoke. It's just, I know I have a 80% thing about us not moving from our spot right now. I don't even know what they're going to do, but I know our second pick, I want an alpha back, and I'm willing to spend. You know what I pictured, Reason and Panel? I pictured us, this beginning of this regime, and everybody shitting on our chest. The beginning of this regime, yeah. And I pictured that, and then I pictured this draft, us bringing Najee into this now, and kind of completing this. And I said, yeah, that it makes sense. Everybody's saying, oh, they're just putting people in danger, and oh my goodness, you know, they want to lose. Well, whatever, you know, and I heard it from everybody, and I just I think I'm okay with Najee at 18, and if we get up and we move to 16 or whatever to get him, I don't know what they do at 6. Who the hell knows? I don't really care. Just as long as they don't pick a ridiculous, stupid player. That's my feelings. And I want to know your take on that, Reese.
What, Najee at 18?
Yeah, or a little more higher.
Oh, I wouldn't take him higher. I wouldn't move up for him.
Okay.
I don't think who's going to take him.
Yeah, nobody. But
I don't know.
You have to get him before the Steelers pick. Because him and Steelers, didn't he come out and say the Steelers are Steelers in the Bills? Yeah. So you gotta trade back. I mean, trade up to get back in.
That's the reason gave the Colts, because the Colts trade up because they're a perfect team. The Colts are a perfect team that love to trade down.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah, Colts is a nice spot. Mm-hmm.
They have a squad, man. The Colts have a squad.
They really do. They really do.
Yep, they do.
Well, you know, we said it before, even before they went to the playoffs, that they had a good squad coming into the season. They just needed a quarterback. We knew Philip Rivers was going to be the stopgap, but you know, to really complete that team, they really needed a quarterback.
Yep. Yeah, 100%.
Man, I think the Browns are going to shock and all this year.
Like the Browns already had the foundation was already there. They just the head coach.
Man,
It was just the head coach.
It was,
Literally.
I'm waiting for the other wheel to fall off on the Browns, right? It's like, okay. Yeah, you guys are pretty good. And I don't know. It's interesting. That kid running around all over the field, I have a feeling he's going to get tagged. I know that's his MO, but I don't know.
There's a little interesting piece I forgot to bring up too. That was on Twitter. Apparently, the sheet makes note of a possible trade with the Patriots involving 2020 rookie Jordan Love, and it's the picture right here. That's on the desk. Jordan Love, the 29th pick, and a 4th round pick at 140. Yeah, round 4 pick for the 15th overall pick.
It's fake.
Based on what?
I don't know.
I went to the Patriots subreddit.
You went to the what? Sorry.
I went to their subreddit. It was on there. A lot of people from there they were saying it's fake.
We'll see how it works out, but that's like random as hell.
Yeah.
There's the picture. There's before they zoomed in. There's a picture of the desk.
I don't know. I just think I'm with you, Reason. I think it's weird and out of nowhere because you'll think the Packers will want to finish developing Jordan Love. And
but they got a couple years with Rodgers, and clearly the Patriots are not a fan of Mac Jones.
Yeah. It'll be interesting if it does happen. It'll be very interesting.
This Mac Jones thing is so crazy.
I don't believe it for a minute.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense.
I hope San Francisco drafts him though for our
I think
I hope so too.
Bill Belichick's reaction. Bill Belichick's reaction to his pro day is very telling.
That is classic. Yeah.
Like Reason's video showed, how many guys hit the roof on a pro day throwing the football.
Oh, you heard the metal sound just dong.
It's like Christian Hackenberg accuracy right there. Jesus.
Oh wow!
I remember some people were so high on him too.
Yeah.
Man,
I mean, it's easy to say we told you so, but
I cannot wait to this draft next week. God knows.
You can't wait.
You can't wait.
I can't wait. It's not for pick 6 or well, I'll be a little nervous if we trade with that our first pick, but pick 18 and 36 is what I'm focused on.
Oh yeah, that's gonna give me a stomach ulcer. Those 2 picks. So I just have a gut feeling. It's hard to screw up pick 6. It's hard to screw up 6, but
you can't.
I got a question for a reason. So how you feel about what's came out about the Dolphins thinking about trading back?
Yeah, that'll have me.
6.
Mm-hmm. From
you
6.
wait.
Like who are you gonna trade? My thing is who's first of all, because I talked about this earlier in the show.
Mm-hmm.
A, if Mac Jones is the quarterback sitting there, who's really trading up for him?
That's such a great point.
B, because it would have to be Lance. If Lance is there, I could believe it.
Mm-hmm.
B, other than Denver, who are the options?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to.
Patriots, if it's Lance, you're not making a deal with them.
Yeah, of course.
Washington at 19, and then Chicago at 20. Do they really want to move that far back? Like
exactly.
If Lance is on the table, I would be telling them, "Yo, you need to make some. You need to get into the top 10, and then we can talk."
Agreed.
Only if Pitts isn't there. Only if Pitts isn't there at 6.
Agreed.
I was gonna say, doesn't this scream to you guys like they do have like 1 or 2 players they like, and they're just trying to spread a smoke screen, just like they did last year? Yeah, just like they did last year. Remember last year we heard all about Justin Herbert, and then remember like the day before the draft, they were like, "Oh yeah, we might take Andrew Thomas," and it's like, "What?" Like no, and it was like it turned out to probably just scare the Giants. Like, oh yeah, if you trade out that pick.
Yeah, it was Salguero.
Yep. Every day, bro.
Absolutely.
I thought I read one day they were drafting me, bro. Like it was someone new every day with Armando. It was absolutely.
I wouldn't be
ridiculous.
surprised if it happens again. That's why when I know people who like Chase, when I heard that we might actually like Chase, but when I hear it, it just to me screams like it just scares Cincinnati off. Like, don't think about trading down because we'll take Chase. Like that's what they're trying to. It's like they're trying to scare teams out.
But
hey, Peter,
Who are what teams?
That they're inquiring about the pick. I mean, besides probably logical being Denver.
Well, Washington would make sense. Chicago would make sense.
Yeah, Chicago.
But I mean, Reason done had that one guy on saying that Denver didn't want to trade up, that they were talking about trading down.
And Ben Albright talked about it again on Twitter yesterday, the day before, that
Yeah, I saw that.
that they would be fine with someone falling to them, but he isn't hearing anything about them wanting to trade.
God, if we trade out the
Remember,
top 10,
he said they're more willing to trade back because they like Najee.
I'll be devastated if they trade out the top 10. I'll be devastated.
Because then what would have been the
What
point?
are they gonna do? Target the Eagles? Say, give us our first round back. I'm telling you right now, the Eagles, their stock loading for the Watson thing.
Because that makes sense. And look at this
makes
reason.
sense.
Look at this, guys. Like I get, like we want to stockpile and build depth with good players, but eventually we need a couple of great players to put around our quarterback.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We're 10-6. We're right on the door.
We need quality, not quantity this year.
100%.
Look at this, guys. As much, and this might be, I might get chewed out for this, but as much as we want to praise Preston Wilson hasn't gave us a full year of game tape. Preston Williams. He hasn't given us a full year game tape. He was hurt the first year.
Who gonna chew you out for that?
It might be a couple of, Preston Williams.
Christian Wilkins. Christian Wilkins gonna get back.
Let's get to a. I mean, I know it's a projection because it's a prospect, but damn, I mean, I just hope we don't trade off the top.
You're frustrated. I understand you. I totally
scary.
do.
It's scary now. It's real.
You're gonna be real pissed.
Man.
When Pitts is on the board and they take Devontae Smith anyway.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Because remember what he said. Flores talked about the size. Remember when he says it doesn't matter about the size, it's about the player. And he talked about all the good things Devontae Smith has done and how good of a player he is.
Yeah, but how he plays in big games.
If Pitts is gone.
Brian Flores,
I have no problem with taking Smitty at 6.
But bro, shit. I'm telling you, bro, when they made that trade, what did I tell y'all from day one? See, here's where I'm at. Okay? My head says Pitts. My heart says Sewell. My gut says Devontae Smith. Bro, there's a reason why they made a point to get in front of the most obvious team taking a receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that really struck with me when you said that the other night at 18, how your head said, or I think it was on DDW, your head said Jenkins, but your gut told you Edge, and then I see we pick up this guy. What's it, Fluker?
Fluker?
Fluker.
Yeah, we don't even know his name, but
better not be a fluke of a signing. I'll tell him.
This is devastating, man.
That draft you did was just beautiful. That made so much sense. Pitts and
what's crazy?
Jenkins,
Can I say this? You know how many people? Damien might have seen it. Pyro might too, because he's on Twitter. You know how many people I've turned over to Jenkins at 18 on Twitter now? Like,
really?
It's
one of them.
Bro.
You led that, bro. You led
Even
that
the
for sure.
Phinside guys are saying, "Oh, I'd rather take Jenkins than Najee at 18."
They got that from you, Reason. I had seen that nowhere.
Nowhere. Yeah.
Hey, you have
that picture with the glasses won me over. I got a Von Miller vibe from nerdy looking guy.
Kill you, bro.
Clark Kent.
Bro, you know what? He looks like, and this is I love the kid. He's my OT too, because if you saw me on Dougley Do Wrong this week, I have Slater as the number one interior guy for me because I project him with a higher ceiling. Not saying he can't play tackle. I just think he has like Hunt. I just think he has a higher ceiling on the inside. Same with like Vera Tucker. But if you look at Jenkins in that picture, it looks like he decided to kill people on the gridiron instead of shooting up the pool.
Okay.
Could you guys imagine if we got Evan Jenkins and Quinn Miners, and if we took it back like Najee or Williams? Dear God, it'd be like a rugby game.
That Quinny guy, man.
Our offense would be set.
Imagine if you took Pitts at 6, Tevin Jenkins at 18, and you traded back up to 21 with Indy, and you took Najee Harris or Javonte Williams.
And all
Done deal. Wrap it in a bow. Wrap it in
That
a
red zone
bow.
offense would be unstoppable. Who are you going to
And then-
stop in the
and
red
then
zone?
Nuts.
Fluker and Hunt battle it out at guard.
Yeah.
Hey, Reason, real quick.
Swing guard or swing tackle on the right side. Jesse Davis last year proved he could play left tackle, so you can have him as your swing tackle on the left side. It makes the most sense, bro. Double up.
Wow.
I saw that highlight reel. You had a Fluker at guard, man. I ain't gonna lie, I like what I see.
Which one? I showed like a bunch of ones.
It was
where he
I
rock
like the
bottom
suit.
guy. Where he rock
I
bottom.
think it was
guy?
when the Tennessee one. When he went against Sue.
Yeah, when he went against Sue.
Yeah, he pancaked Ndamukong Suh.
Yeah, man.
That was the year they went to the Super Bowl, I think, too. The Rams, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But he's so inconsistent, bro. One day he'll like blow a guy up. Next play, he's just getting beaten inside, and you're like, "What the hell?"
I hate that.
Yeah.
Did you see the highlight I showed of him driving that linebacker from the second level back like 15 yards too? He's strong, bro. And people are like, "Oh, guard." Yo, you know, other than his first year at guard with the Chargers, his best play has actually been his first 2 years in the league at tackle and his last year at tackle with Baltimore. I don't know, bro.
And his days
I'm kind of curious that they didn't label him as a guard or a tackle. They said offensive line. They literally said OL. They didn't say OG or OT.
Man, it's like
Yeah, so he's kind of like a switchblade.
Yeah.
Did you see his reason? Did you see his tape at Bama?
That's it.
That's what we're trying to do.
No, I haven't gone back and watched his tape.
Oh, gotcha.
Buddy, you know how long? Fuck, what is that? Like 2013? I gotta go back and find. Shit, I don't know if I can find that. I only have all 22 going back to 2016. So I don't know if
wasn't he drafted 6 overall or something?
I think he was 11th or something.
Yeah, I think he's a little bit outside the top 10.
Reason, did you see that that breakdown Irvin shared on Larry's channel the other night?
Of DJ Fluker? Or are you talking about the Billy Stevens one?
Of Tua.
Billy Stevens one?
What was that guy's name, Irving?
I think it's Billy Stevens.
I'll check for you. There you go. There you go.
Man, that was awesome.
I follow him. I saw it when it came out.
That was
I saw it too. It was good. I mean, he basically said what we was always saying. You know.
My only issue is like when you go like, and I love what Top Billin did. Me and Ball Game, you know, Dougley did in depth too. Me and Ball Game literally broke down every single passing snap this past year. I literally broke down hundreds of plays of Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
So I showed the bad and I showed the good.
Especially
so I've seen it all, right? You know what I mean? Like I don't like.
That's
like
the only thing I didn't like.
Yeah, I watched Stevens for like a couple minutes, and I was like, I've seen this. I watched Kurt Warner's, all of that. I watched Top Billin's, all of his, and I watched the majority. I think Dougley's was like 40 or 50 minutes long. I watched like almost all that, I think, too.
Yeah, Top Billin brings it, bro.
Top Billin's good, bro. I hit him up personally. I'm waiting for him to email me back.
I love this Samoan sniper.
Bro, did you see him giving it to? Did you see it giving him to the Puerto Rican retard in the comments there, bro?
No,
buddy, he was dragging him from one side of YouTube to the other, bro.
That guy's such a troll.
Oh my god!
Everyone's favorite idiot in the Dolphins community, bro. Go check it out, bro. Because he was trolling the comments and kept spamming everyone's comments saying, "We're drafting Justin Fields at 6. We're drafting."
Oh my god!
Wait, are we talking about
Top Billy started calling him like a clown. Started like just dragging him, bro. It was hilarious.
It's crazy. It's crazy that he says we're getting Justin Fields at 6. How the hell?
I don't know if he's a troll. I legitimately think his IQ is lacking. I legitimately think.
I think.
I'm just saying it doesn't take a genius to know Justin Fields is not going to be there at 6.
Yeah, I legitimately think he's dumb. I legitimately think like he's a couple screws loose, of being able to put together a full toolbox.
And also reason if Justin Fields is there at 6, damn well the Dolphins ain't gonna pick him.
Buddy, you know what you know what we can get in a trade?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I was
That's
going
what I
to
was gonna
say.
say.
Yep.
Bro,
Here's my
that
thing
phone.
too. Here's my thing too. This is why you don't gotta listen to these idiots like that, okay? Tua, not only was he a more polished prospect coming out, we're not talking about the injury, we're talking about the play, okay? Mechanics, etc. Not only was he more polished product, his tape blows theirs out of the water. Like Justin Fields has a weird like at the top of his release, it needs to be fixed. Justin Fields as a processor is not that great. Okay, Trey Lance, he's a super project, right? Like Trey Lance has only been playing the position for like 3 or 4 years.
Yep.
You know, and then you got competition questions for Trey Lance, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and Trey Lance, if you look at him, he didn't come off his first read a lot. Okay, number 3. Okay, you talk about Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson couldn't beat high level competition. I mean, look what Coastal Carolina did to him. Even though he almost brought them back, but he still had issues. Okay, struggles big time with pressure. You go watch a lot of Zach, and again, I have every Zach Wilson snap from this year, which is the year he popped off. Okay, yo, if you go watch him this year, all 22. If you go watch him, a lot of his big plays, a lot of his big throws came outside the pocket, not within it. All right, you go look at Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence, when pressure comes, his mechanics drastically dip. And here's another thing. You could make a legit argument Trevor Lawrence regressed each year. You could make a legit argument, bro. Okay, you got guys like Zach Wilson and Justin Fields going out here winning the underwear Olympics on the pro day. Go look at Trevor Lawrence. I keep bringing it up. Go look at Trevor Lawrence on his pro day in the red zone.
It was awful.
It was fucking terrible, bro. I was like, what is this, bro?
I mean, he was overthrowing. It was inaccurate.
Bro, me and EM could have made more throws in the red zone than what he was making, bro.
I'm like, Jesus, he throws
it in the second row. The guys in the back he's throwing in the second row, bro. What the fuck?
And you notice, that's why I kind of noticed when, like you said, when he was regressing, you notice in his later years, he always likes to tuck it and run when he's in the end zone. And I noticed, I was like, why is he always running the damn ball? Just throw it. You have a receiver open there. Now that you see that pro day, it's like, okay, I see why he did that.
Yeah. I think I gotta say this. Trey Lance, just like my love for he's Jordan Love. He's Jordan Love all over again.
Absolutely. I love that kid,
He's got
bro.
all the tools in the world. He just needs to be groomed and developed.
He's got to be groomed.
I love that kid, bro.
Buddy, if he goes to San Francisco or Atlanta, he's
If I'm San Francisco, I take him. Oh yeah.
Justin Fields in San Francisco is freaking ideal too, bro.
Yeah. I think you hit the nail on the head with the technique because I think that's why his ball stale sometimes.
Bro, this is what I don't get, Jeff. Why would you take a statue who's not athletic in the slightest, like Mac Jones, and put him in Shanahan's West Coast offense when you got guys with athletic ability? And because it looks like the Patriots aren't going to trade for Jimmy G, you could get away with Fields or Lance under Jimmy G for a year.
Correct. And why would you you're presumably moving off of Jimmy Garoppolo because you don't like his ceiling. So why would you take the quarterback with the lowest ceiling of the group?
Presumably, no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't have a low ceiling. He hits the ceiling. What do you mean? What you mean?
His head's already bumped. Bro. I don't see much growth in Mac Jones' game because the physical ability isn't actually there. Like, people want to knock Tua for his arm. Buddy,
his is weaker. Mac Jones is weaker.
Oh, buddy, if Tua's got a weak arm, what does Mac Jones have, bro? It's a pop gun compared to Tua.
Well, like you showed in your video, look at the Waddle highlights and how many highlights he had to hold up. Him and Smitty, they both had to hold up. Even on the pro day.
Go back to the pro day. Who's the guy who tripped over his feet trying to make the catch because he had to hold up?
Hey, did you guys see on Twitter? It was I think it was from 2019. It was Tua going up against Tennessee. Bro, he hit Waddle on it looked like a corner route, like a deep corner route. Bro, he hit him in stride in tight coverage, bro. It looked like almost double coverage. Hit him
I think
right
that was
in
in my
stride.
highlight
And
package. That was in my highlight package.
yeah, and
Did
that
an LSU
and the
game too
commentator
to it
was
that
like,
hit Waddle in stride.
Just look at those defenses he went up against, man.
Yeah, but look
C-Mac
at
Jones played
look
that
at Tua's
Clemson defense his
ability-
first year.
Tua's ability to fluctuate between speeds of his receivers in stride. Like Judy's not as
That's a good
fast or
point,
Ruggs
yeah.
or Waddle. He can hit him in stride. Same thing with Smith. But then Ruggs and Waddle, he can hit him in stride. He can his timing and understanding is ridiculous. We just didn't get to see it because of where he was at physically last year.
And also, Reese, I think
and he's such a magician in the pocket, bro. Oh my
man,
god,
I love it.
I just think that Matt Jones is the one that really benefited from the talent around him, because you think about it, Waddle has the speed to create separation real quick, and so it's easy for him to hold up for the ball and wait for it because the corner's busy catching up. So that's why I'm trying to say to people. It's like people always say, "Oh, it's Tua who benefited from this." It's like, no, Matt Jones is the one that benefited. Tua,
And that old
to think about it, when Tua started, nobody knew who the hell was Judy. Nobody knew who the hell was Smith. Nobody knew who the hell was Waddle. Nobody knew who they were.
They all came in the same year, though.
They came in
the same
year.
Waddle came after. Waddle came after Ruggs.
Yeah, one year.
Came after Ruggs. But you know what I'm trying to say? It's like these receivers, when Tua
put them on the map.
He put him on the map.
Let me pick
going up against look at Clemson D.
Let's be honest. That Clemson, everyone forgets how good that Clemson D was.
Oh, first round picks in a defensive line.
You know what I mean? Trevor Lawrence wasn't going up against that. But I've been hearing this jibber jabber on Twitter about Waddle and whether we should take him a pick 6. Okay, first of all, Waddle only had 40 receptions the last year of Tua Tagovailoa's season at Alabama because he was targeted the least because he played lesser amount of snaps than Judy, Ruggs, and Devontae Smith, okay? And if you actually go and do the tape work, who caught Tua Tagovailoa's last touchdown pass at Alabama? Wow. Jalen motherfucking Waddle, okay? Number 2, all right? Because I've been hearing, people have been actually trying to argue about whether Jalen Waddle outproduced Devontae Smith or not. People are saying, he didn't outproduce him. What are you talking about? He had over 100 yards more in the same amount of games than Devontae Smith through that first 4 games and the same amount of touchdowns on 13 less receptions.
Exactly.
Last I checked, that's outproducing someone when you need less receptions, okay? And number 3 point, okay? Jalen Waddle has more yards per reception on average than Judy, Ruggs, Devontae Smith. Hell, you want to throw Michi in there too?
Yeah, put him in there too.
Bro.
Do it.
22 yards per reception, bro.
Do it.
Average last year.
Yo, the knocking I'm seeing on Jalen Waddle, it's like I showed all y'all what Jeremy Fowler said from ESPN last week when I was up here. He said what he's hearing from personnel is that basically everyone in these mock drafts, Jalen Waddle is the 3rd or 4th receiver if you include Pitts off the board, when from what he's hearing, he could be the 1st. Then Omar Kelly comes out yesterday and says what he's hearing on these NFL streets is Jalen Waddle over Devontae Smith right now.
It makes sense. And I don't know why people, and it all started when, he got injured last season. They as soon as that happened, they was like, well, we won't take a flyer on him because he could be quote unquote injury prone. And I'm telling you, it's like, wait, he got injured this one freaking season, one year, and you saying he's injury prone? These are the same people who said Tua's injury prone.
I think most people in this world would be happy with either or. At least me personally, I love both of the Bama receivers.
Oh, so do I.
I agree with reason. I get pissed when people say one's much better. I get pissed too. Because I'm like, because it's splitting hairs. It's literally, one has much higher. I will say I agree with reason. Waddle has the highest upside of the whole receiving core.
That's why he was my number 1 guy, bro. And look at where you can use him, bro. Look at the usage
Oh
you
yeah,
can
slot
get out
outside,
of him,
line him
dude.
everywhere. Yeah,
You know,
scares the
kick
defense.
return, punt return. Yo, you actually just like you have to scheme for Pitts when Waddle's on the field. You
I was
would have
just about to
scheme
say
for
that.
him,
Yeah,
bro.
him and
you
Pitts
have
have the
to.
two
You have
most
to.
scaring on a defense as soon as they step on the field, whether he's
Oh,
proven
yeah.
or not. Waddle and
Bro.
Pitts, teams are gonna
And
gear
you know what the
around them
difference? You know what the
instantly.
difference between him and Ruggs is? Two guys who can run in the 4-2.
One's a better route runner.
Way better route runner, bro.
Yeah.
And his understanding of angles and pursuit angles is fucking elite, bro.
That really showed
Exactly,
against Ruggs last
exactly.
year. That really stood out. The deficiencies that Ruggs has.
What were you gonna
running
say,
routes.
Damien, about the LSU game? You were gonna say something.
Oh yeah. I just wanted to say I was gonna piggyback on what Pyro said and say this with Tua. Tua, he changed the whole perspective on how Bama called offense and how they ran their offense with the things that he could do.
Give me a sec. I'll be right back. Go ahead, Damien.
It's so rare that we got to see a college quarterback come into a college program, historic college program, coached by arguably one of the best, if not the best, college coach ever, and change his whole perspective on how he runs offense. And that's what Tua did. Tua allowed for Mac Jones to be able to excel in this system. Because if not, Mac Jones would have been running the same offense as McElroy and all those other guys before. So we have to look at this, what Tua has done. And also, I'll say with Waddle, my whole thing is I think Waddle is what the NFL wants right now today. It's a copycat league, and seeing what a Tyreek Hill can give you or a Curtis Samuel can give you. Someone who can stretch that defense and dictate coverage because of his speed. That opens up so many things for every other receiving weapon you have on the field, because that one player allows so much attention and it makes the safeties have to play so far back that the middle of the field and everything underneath is wide underneath is wide open. That's something that Waddle what Waddle brings to the table. Now, my whole thing is I'm not taking nobody over Kyle Pitts as far as a receiver, but I could see the intrigue with Waddle, and I can see him on his team, especially when we got to realize that Fuller's only a one-year guy. He's a one-year guy, so we have to realize that. So it would be a lot of value in taking this kid over Smitty, but I love Smitty too, so I don't think you can go wrong with either. But I can.
No, any of the three are fantastic.
Yeah,
they're all good.
I could definitely see the intrigue with getting a Jalen Waddle, because the element that he brings is something that many receiver can't bring, and he's polished and running his routes, and he brings the extra element on special teams also as well. So he can get in the end zone multiple ways and do multiple things and affect the game in multiple ways. You got to look at it like this. He can affect the game in special teams where even if he doesn't take it to the house.
Say it, Damon. Say it.
Field position.
Say it.
Position. Especially when we have arguably, matter of fact, it ain't arguably, it's fact, the best kicker in the league. So what do you get the best kicker in the league? Field position. What do you get the top 5 defense? Field position. And that's Jalen Waddle. That's an element that Jalen Waddle can bring to the table.
Say it, Damien.
You know, he's the ultimate. He's a weapon.
If you get yourself,
you got to say it.
Yep.
Say
Can I get a hallelujah?
I'll say it.
Can I get a hallelujah?
Oh, and I missed the pastor preaching, huh?
Damien, you got to say it, Damien. You didn't say it.
Why he say Pyro?
He will
get rid of.
Well, you want to finish it? You want to finish? Give him that freaking bus ticket. Get out of here. You don't need your services, sir.
You can get that bus ticket ready for Jakeem Grant.
Get him out. Get him out.
See, here's the thing. Let me say, for this year, let's just think about this, okay? When, you know what I mean? When we want to go 11-man personnel. You know, and you can have. Hold on, let me think about that for a sec. Yeah, 11-man personnel, and you know you can have Fuller, you know, Gesicki, Waddle, Devontae Parker on the same field.
Oof.
What do you do?
Man,
you can't do that. You just gotta lay there. You have to.
You better. You better get Usain Bolt out of retirement and probably train him as a corner or something to catch up with those two. One of those two, bro.
Two is having Bama flashbacks with that.
We better not trade out
Deion
the top
Sanders
10.
or something,
Think about
bro.
this too. Let's say we want to go 10 man. What's up, Rhino? I hope you're feeling better, bro. Let's say you want to go. Let's say you want to go 10 man personnel. Okay, you want to go 10 man or 0-1, right? With with Gesicki or the running back on the field, right? Buddy, Fuller, screw Preston, Fuller, Waddle, Albert Wilson, and Devontae Parker.
Oh my
Bro,
what do you do?
What do you do?
That's
Won't be a problem with separation no more.
And then just let's just be. I'm speaking hypothetically here.
It's Alabama
you
all
add
over
in,
again.
You add in a Javonte Williams or a Najee Harris. Oh my God! You don't know what
It
to
is
do.
Alabama
What do you
all
do?
over again, bro.
What do
As a
you
corner,
do?
what you do? As a
Oh
corner,
my
as soon as you hike the ball, you turn and start running and hope the football hits you in the back of the head.
Bro,
That's what you do.
you know how much conflict you can create against a secondary and a defense with those stuff, like it's ridiculous, bro.
I'm telling you, man, it's gonna
not trade out the top 10.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a lot.
And everybody just gets open, just intermediate, underneath, bro. Just get anybody that ball, bro, and they'll just get tremendous yak, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Just give me this
Reason
ball,
hit
I'm
the
gonna
nail
do
on the
work,
head.
bro.
We're the hunters now, boys. We have to beat the leaders in our division. That's Buffalo, right? What is Buffalo ran a lot of cover zero against us, which I'm sick of. You get a Jalen Waddle, their ass ain't going to cover zero against us. Guarantee it.
Nope.
And what do? They struggle cover
force
tight
that
end.
safety over the top,
you get
bro.
hits, you get exactly. You get them. They struggle with the bigger back. You run Najee right up their ass, or their butt. Sorry, I'm
right
here.
With no
Or Devontae.
Or Javonte, yeah, or Javonte. I'm with you, Rhino. I'm with you, Rhino. I like him too.
I want Tua to have Josh Allen's head on his mantle, bro.
Devontae reminds me of a more violent Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
I would take
that's a good comp, actually. That's a very good
is.
comp.
He likes pass protection too. He likes to run into people. Likes to hit.
What's up, RD?
Yeah, no. Remember when the trade happened, right? From 3 to 12 and then to 6, right? Just remember the rumors back then. The Dolphins were, and you've highlighted this many times, the Dolphins were into one of the Alabama receivers, right? No one was talking about Pitts because the thing hadn't happened yet. The pro days hadn't happened. Obviously, Pitts was a top 10 pick, but it wasn't really linked to the Dolphins. Then you look into what the Dolphins did in the offseason so far with all of the moves. Bro, you look at the roster, how many tight ends do we have right now? Like 5, okay? And you cannot tell me that you cannot run them efficiently, right? At least 3 of them, to generate you like about 1,200 yards between those 3, right? So the thing is, if you get Pitts, you're just going to sort of diminish their value. Obviously, you have Pitts. But a guy like a Jalen Waddle or a Devontae Smith, but mainly Jalen Waddle, his dynamics, what he provides with Fuller, the safeties will never, ever cheat again. So that means the entire middle of the field is empty. With this move that they got the tackle right now, they're telling you they're not going to draft a tackle in the first round. So it might be Micah Parsons if it's there at 18, but I don't think they're going to reach on defense.
So you think Fluker plays tackle?
Oh, 1,000%, because Isaiah Wilson was never going to play guard.
I agree. I've been telling people this online. I agree with you, bro.
And think about it this way. Austin Jackson was a first rounder. Isaiah Wilson, first rounder. This guy that we're bringing in, a former first rounder.
11th overall.
You think we're going to draft another first round? Like, they want competition. They got Jesse Davis and they have Eric Flowers. They're not going to bench him the entire year and have the entire offensive line be under 23 years old. They want, when you're talking about value, you got Najee Harris, a bell cow back with pedigree, all of that, chemistry with Tua, the fit to the scheme that we're running, and you're going to get a tackle, just the value of production that you get for the next 5 years. Forget about the offensive line is composed of 5 people. If you have a bell cow running back, that's going to be mainly your source of a Henry or a Cooks or whatever.
they are tipping their hand as to what they're going to do and their history with Alabama and the love for Alabama that they have. I mean, they pretty much picked up Tua without any type of consensus that, this guy's going to be healthy. So I truly believe with the latest rumors that have come out that they are trying to trade back now is basically they were afraid, right, that it was going to be Chase, Waddle, and Smith taken, 5 to 7. And they're like, no, we got to have one of these guys. So now it's like, well, Pitts is going to be the, Penesul, the 4 quarterbacks. They're like, okay, guys, Denver, Dallas, if you want Pitts, give us a second rounder. And if I walk out with Waddle and a second rounder, who could be Creed Humphreys, who could be a legitimate weapon that we can have to the O-line, or a Dylan Rondu, or whoever, right? That has more value to our overall offense, I think, than Pitts does, just because of where we're at right now. I think very highly of Pitts. Penne is my number one. Penesul is my number one option, right? But I just think the fit, the scheme, where they're at. And remember, Jalen Waddle, with Pitts, he has zero chemistry, right? He's going to grow it. With Waddle, it's like he has more chemistry with him than any other person he has on this whole team.
Well, I think what's so appealing about Pitts is they say throwing into tight windows. With throwing Pitts, it's like throwing at a barn door. You don't even have to be accurate with Pitts.
Pretty much. I mean, with that 83-inch wingspan.
Don't look at him as a tight end.
Go ahead, Damien, because you love it.
He's not loud, so he can't overpower anyone. That's why.
I just want to say this. I agree with. I see what you're saying about the tackle, with the O line. I can see that. But with the receivers and the tight end, we have about 5 tight ends on the roster. But to say, we're worried about diminishing them for somebody, I think that will come in being the best. Will let more lead that tight end, Roman. You can say with just raw ability and what we've seen in college, will probably be the best receiver on this damn staff. And to say that, it would be an issue because of chemistry. We drafted Tua, and I believe Tua can take us to the promised land. I don't think Tua's worried that much about chemistry. He wants weapons. I think he will be happy with a Pitts. He will be happy with a Waddle. He'll be happy with a Bateman. I think Tua's going to excel no matter what. And I don't see a situation with Bama. We drafted Tua, but before that injury, Tua was the consensus number 1 overall pick. The medicals checked out. So what else is it to do? I mean, you have to go with your medical staff. The medicals checked out. Besides Tua, what else we draft? Raekwon Davis. We ain't have a factuation with Bama players. I mean, it's just who checks out on your board? Who do your scouts and who do your team evaluates and fits with what your culture is? Plain and simple. And then when you have a talent like a Kyle Pitts, or you have a talent like a Penny Sewell, or those type of players, you make it fit into your scheme. Your scheme will revolve around them. And Tua, I don't see why Tua wouldn't love that.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I'll say it with Tevin Jenkins. I'll say it with by Penei Sewell. The thing about those two guys is they're better than anything we have on the offensive line. But I think if you were to put a gun to Tua's head and say pick one weapon, I think he would say Najee. I don't even think you'd. I don't even think you'd pick Pitts to the receivers.
I think he wants Najee. I think that's his comfort zone. I think that's his.
Yeah. That's his best friend.
Dude, that's why RD, because they're best friends and he can trust them out of the backfield.
Dude, he gets so mad he comes to Alabama. He's like, okay, he was set to go to Michigan. Like Harbaugh had been in his prom.
They've known each other since high school, bro.
Before
Bama, they've known each other since before. Here's the other thing too. Not only can he trust to throw it out of the backfield or run, but he knows when he's asked to block, he can square up defenders and defend them.
And also,
don't be surprised.
He knows what Tua likes and dislikes in terms of when he's under pressure. He knows Tua is going to want to throw a quick one and be right, though.
Pyro, the reason why, listen, if we weren't the Dolphins and I was just doing, because all my big boards, people need to realize I do them based on Dolphin needs, right? So if it was just my personal, Javonte Williams would be my number 1 running back. But because we're the Dolphins and because of what it sounds like we're about to install, there isn't a more perfect fit than Najee Harris right now schematically.
Yeah, I
Don't
agree.
underestimate the value of a 3-down back on a young quarterback. Look at what Zeke Elliott did for Dak Prescott. I know it was high to take him. Look what Leonard Fournette did for Blake frickin' Bortles.
Yeah.
You know, look at like the list goes on and on and on. Like young.
Look what? No, you forgot the most important one.
And Daniel Jones was worth a damn. We could say what Saquon did for him, but he's not.
And the beautiful thing is.
Beast mode with Wilson.
Beast mode and Russell Wilson. That's a good one.
Right there. Type of pedigree, right?
Yeah.
None of those running backs came with this type of pedigree.
Yeah.
So imagine.
That
I was saying that
Marshawn was a good call, Pyro. What were you saying, Irving? Go ahead.
No, I was saying that the beauty about getting someone like a Najee Harris at 18 is that he doesn't have to make that huge. I mean, at least the part about learning a new playbook or an NFL system. Our playbook is very, very similar to what he had at Alabama. So, that eases his transition from college to the NFL. And, it could help. He could help teach some of the schematics to some of the, the Dolphin veterans that are already on the squad. So,
the only thing I'm going to tell him
on the head.
The only thing I'm going to tell him, you better stop with that hurdle shit because you're going to get
bro.
Yeah. I agree with that. It's not college anymore.
I think hurdle is going to stop, guys. He's been hurdling his whole life. It's natural. It's like the stiff arm with the guy from Tennessee. So it's coming.
Yeah, but the problem is now you're
the big
playing
boys.
the elite, bro. Yeah. These aren't jabronis that aren't even going to be UDFAs that you're jumping over, bro. These guys. Here's the thing: if you keep doing it. And you put people on highlight reels.
Yep, there
someone's
you go.
Gonna look to hurt you, bro.
Yeah,
exactly.
Great point.
And you notice when every time somebody was trying to hurdle somebody last year, it never worked out.
No, they just stood up and just flipped it.
Flip them over. That's what I'm saying. Don't try that. This is the pros.
That's a great point, Reason. I remember when Gronkowski was flapping his gums for New England a while ago, and Earl Thomas nearly killed him.
Yeah.
No, Earl Thomas, and he said that was the hardest he ever been hit, and he was flapping his gums the week before, and it was.
They started going after his legs all the time, and that wasn't a coincidence, eh? Because he started getting injured all the time, Gronkowski, and they were hitting on his leg when he was landing, and they were going for the legs, not for Gronkowski. As soon as he would put one foot down, they would, and he got injured twice and lost 2 seasons. Because of the way he was being hit, which was kind of dirty.
What's with why I like Javonte Williams so much? He's really good at avoiding leg tackles. He has like a little mule kick he does. Like it's really hard to get Javonte low,
bro.
When he gets
going.
Did
you see that? That what PFF put out there today?
What?
Let me bring it. I'll bring it up.
They have
the running back rankings.
Yeah. No. It was here. I'll show you guys. It was I'll bring it up. But what I wanted to say too is why I like Javonte and Najee much more than Etienne. Etienne just screams zone. He doesn't scheme. He doesn't scream power gap running back to me.
And like that vision.
Yeah, and you look at what we're trying to do offensively, we're clearly going into a power
New England form.
Yeah.
Yep.
But this is what I want to show. Check this one out. All right. I want y'all. This just got to put y'all into perspective with my boy Javonte here. I love this kid so fucking much. He's gonna be such a stud at the next.
Bro, that's
rushing attempts in 2020. Javonte Williams 157, yet he finished with 76 missed tackles forced.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Like that's literally almost half of his rushing attempts. He was forcing missed tackles.
What's really funny is Chuba Hubbard in one season almost had more carries than freaking Javonte had his whole career.
Yeah, that's scary. That's
Chuba's junior year.
He's
man.
a little,
or sophomore.
And this guy's a little. Yeah,
but
this guy is a little
the better receiver. Who do you think is the better receiver? Because that's
Najee's a better receiver, I think.
I see.
Javonte. But Javonte hasn't been put in that role, though. I will say.
I don't know if I can say that because Javonte, if you watch his film, the guy's out there catching like bombs from Sam Howell. That's why I have the Aaron Jones
He breaks off routes good too. Like he did that one when Sam Howell was like scrambling. He does break away.
Oh, what's up,
Rhino's trying to say something.
I don't really think a lot of people have watched Javonte because in the first 2 minutes you watch him, and you're just like, Jesus Christ, this man is angry. And I really like my running back. I really like my running back to actually be the best at running, and I think he's the best runner out of the class.
Well, I agree with you.
I won't dispute that.
I agree.
But
with you.
here, my point is this. My point is this reason is that he's got Sam Howell throwing to him. I've seen Najee Harris have to get balls like even in the SEC game or in the championship game or in the national title game. He put Mac Jones almost the third overall pick, him and Devontae Smith, because this guy's underthrowing people constantly and just physically Najee Harris was able to adjust, right, and grab onto like he's literally a wide receiver in the backfield at times at an efficient level, but he never fumbles. Obviously, Javonte doesn't either. But I don't know. They're gonna have to make a decision. I
literally think both guys, because if you go look at the snap counts for Najee, he ran just as many zone as he did power gap. Like, I literally don't think you could go wrong with either guy in terms of what you're looking for schematically. Yeah. I think the problem is, and the only reason I had Najee over him is Najee's going to be more familiar with our playbook. I keep going back to what he said at the Senior Bowl about when he looked at our playbook, and it was basically different terminology, but the same thing he was running.
Yeah, good one.
But it was the same thing they were running in Bama.
He's a better receiver.
The other thing, reason is you were right. There's going to be 3 running backs. Put a bet on Vegas. There will be 3 running backs in the first round.
Or at least the top 35 for sure.
Hey, Najee Harris.
Guys, Matt Miller in his scouting notes today, because I remember I showed it last week, he said Miami moved back to 6, I'm told, because they believe the Bengals would select an offensive lineman. That would leave them with one of the 2 top pass catchers. If the Falcons select Pitts and the Bengals select Chase, the Dolphins could move out.
That makes sense.
Take that for what it's worth. I think the Chase shit is being overblown to Miami right now. If you want my personal opinion.
I agree.
Yeah,
because remember what did Tony Pauline come out with like 3 weeks ago, right? That apparently we didn't want to spend high selections on guys who opted out this past year.
Exactly. So how that?
And then you had the article,
and then that Jason Lackenfor article that put out the Eagles trade proposal when no one else was proposing it, and Klump passed me off the info the night before. The text messages in that same article, Jason Lackenfor basically showed he's connected to someone because he knew the Eagles stuff was going on. He said we didn't want to move out of the top 10 because we wanted one of the Bama receivers.
Well, wasn't there also a report when Roseman traded back? Wasn't one of the things is the Eagles like Chase and they didn't think he'd be there at 6? I thought I saw that in either Albert Breer or somebody put that in one of their reports of that's why the Eagles wanted to move out. They thought for sure one of the quarterbacks they liked was gone, and 2.
Bro, I got a feeling, bro. I got a feeling Chase ain't gonna be what everyone's trying to. Well, not everyone, because I've had people on here. You know, I've had a former fucking NFL DB. I've had guys who are evaluators, scouts, whatever you want to call them, get paid to do it up here and say, "Yo, he's not what the media is trying to hype him up to be right now."
No, because this game doesn't translate as well as Chase or Waddle, or not Chase, sorry, Smith or Waddle.
You know what,
does.
Jeff?
I need
this guy to be 6'2", 6'3".
Oh, if he's going to be that strong, he needs DK Metcalf or Terrence Marshall Jr. build. He needs to be 6'3", 220. Then if he's going,
we already have Chase here, man. His name is DVP.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to tell people.
And Preston.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Parker's taller.
No, and going back to Reason's point about about the Pitts to Miami thing being overblown. It's what Cam Wolf said in his article that Rhino likes it, that he's emphasized all this time that, they don't want to use a Pitts and Gesicki in a 12-man personnel because the Dolphins think, at least from Cam Wolf's opinion, that they're not good, very good blockers.
By the way. He's backed off of that.
Oh, he has? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't. Okay. I wasn't aware of that.
But here's the thing.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah. I still think Chase is going 5 because listen, you can get away with Jonah Williams and Riley Reif and then you can go draft a Wyatt Davis or a Trey Smith in the second round. Because if you go look at the Burrow injury, it was not the tackles that was the right guard that gave up that injury. That was not a tackle because their interior is shit. So, like, that's what I'm sitting here saying. Everyone thinking they're going tackle. Come on. I talk about us tipping our hat. Y'all don't really think they tipped their hat when they went out and got Thaddeus Moss? That they want to reinvent offensively what they did in LSU, bro?
And it also reasons, like you said, Joe Burrow himself has thrown hints throughout this whole season.
Whole time.
How much he was hyping up Chase. Before the draft
AG.
In the combine last year, and what did he do? He told them in the interview when they asked him what are some of the things he wanted, re-sign AJ Green, and what did they do? They franchised him.
They franchised, yep.
They listened to him before they even fucking drafted him. And you know why, Pyro? Because they're trying to change the narrative that Hushmanzada and Carson Palmer have put out about them, about how they don't listen to their players. That's exactly why they're doing it, bro. So then people will want to come there.
Yep.
Good point. I didn't know that.
Like you said, they're trying to change the narrative and make, like you said, make people want to come to Cincinnati. Because, like you said, Cincinnati was getting a bad rap for not listening to their players. And, by doing that, and by doing this, by getting Chase like what Burrow wants, that will really, for them, they hopefully will want people to come, attract some free agencies.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
whatever running back we get, I'm hoping is one of the top, Javonte or Najee. DJ, this guy that we just got, Fluker.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. He running game, I think we're going to be okay. And we were okay in the end of last year once we got our act together, right? But again, it was...
We just couldn't stay healthy.
We never got it. We never started clicking. It was a crazy year. But I'm not sweating to have these maulers, to have these guys, and Tua's going to get that ball out in 2.5 seconds, right?
At least
I'm fine with Gainwell, too.
Yeah, I like.
I like Gainwell, bro.
I even like Colin Hill.
I did some. I
like Colin Hill.
We have the same
Gainwell was good.
Gainwell's a beast, bro. He's the best pass catching running back in this draft.
I can see Gainwell going to the Cardinals. Yeah, and targeting him in the second round.
He blocks better than Michael Carter.
If Cardinals go Travis Etienne, then because that's a possibility.
That's
also
too. Yeah,
Etienne can't block with a damn. The effort's there, but. He just can't.
No. Bro, I've seen some games he get blown up.
Yeah,
he tries. But,
Reason on a side note, Quincy Roche, you had him as your 7th edge. I love Quincy Roche. Like I just absolutely love him.
Yo, I'm smacking myself in the face for only having Tryon at 6. With how the media is starting to blow up about Joe Tryon right now.
Yeah, they are, but Quincy Roche, everybody has him like 16th edge.
No, he's good.
I'm like, if that man ends up going in the 4th round, yeah, that's what I'm saying. If that man ends up in the 4th round, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah,
the Dolphins did it in the 3rd round. Oh Lord, he's such
same thing with. I know people don't like his injury history, but if Jalen Phillips is staring down the barrel at 36, bro.
Run the card up. Yeah.
Listen,
I gotta pull that trigger, bro.
I gotta pull the trigger, man. You have
to, bro. If that guy didn't have the injury history, he'd be the best edge in this class.
Oh yeah, first round.
That's just scary.
I think Javonte or Jalen Phillips is
stayed healthy last year.
One of those two.
Yeah, but
no. You know who's smart?
It froze.
He froze. Just give him a minute.
I think either Javonte or Javonte Williams or I
cut out. I think I cut out there.
Yeah, you cut out.
You know who's smart? If they take him, and I gotta pat myself on the back for this one. It's the Browns. If they take him if he stays healthy and he's on the opposite side of Myles Garrett, and you got Clowney, you can move around to end.
Yeah, that is
oh my
smart.
god, that's a scary front.
Dude, that would probably be the best front in the NFL.
Man, your name ain't Reason. We're gonna call you Knowledge.
And reason, can you please stop, predicting teams, other teams getting in it? I'm like, Jesus Christ, man.
Bro, not enough people are talking about it right now, but I'm telling you.
I think a lot of people are
if we don't take Najee or Javonte, you got to watch out for the Jets too, bro.
I'm worried about the Bills getting one of those. I'm worried about the Bills getting one of those guys because then the Bills are complete because their running game is their weakness. And
what do you mean? They got Breda. They're already set, bro.
Oh,
no, they
Margarita.
You heard those Bills fans? Oh my God! They was saying, well, Bill. They was like, oh, we got. So is he good? Dolphins. I was like, I don't know.
Well, we didn't really use it. We didn't utilize him well, right?
Yeah, like, we don't have any idea.
He's the perfect complement to Najee or Javonte, right?
Yep. If I'm telling you right now, if we had him, if we used him right, locking him up, he would have been perfect.
Last time we had a running back, Jay Ajayi, but he was like what, 2 years, a year and a half of production. Like,
I would say,
Ronnie Brown
Ajayi for that 1 year. Ajayi for that 1 year.
Ajayi that 1 year.
When he had the unicorn line.
What about
the
unicorn?
Oh yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
That one game against Minnesota. Do you remember?
Better our leading rusher 2 years ago. Fitzpatrick.
I've never looked that game up.
Fitzpatrick.
Do you know who I'm high right now? That guy from Buffalo. What do you have that guy from Buffalo? Peterson, the running back from Buffalo right now.
Singletary?
Jared Patterson.
Yeah. That guy looks like he could be. I mean, not a starter, but he could be your.
He's a sleeper. Kylan Hill's a sleeper, and so is Khalil Herbert.
Right.
Legit.
They could be good. They could be good RB2s, right? Like
that's what I'm saying, man.
Michael asks, the Jets have so many holes. Why would they take a running back in the first round? Because are you going into a season with LaMichael P. Ryan as your number one running back?
It's so bad.
Like, talk about a team that has, but at least they have, like, on the offensive line, they have some pieces. You know what I mean? Like, on defense, they have some pieces with Quinnen Williams. What's his face? Ashton Davis they drafted. Like, at least they have some pieces. That running back room? Holy shit. Pyro might up their job.
Reason. Howell is a better quarterback.
What's that wide receiver they had?
Mims.
Not Mims. The other one.
Jamison Crowder?
Hey.
I think it was Crowder, yeah.
He's gone now, isn't he?
No.
They signed Corey Davis.
I think I don't know if Crowder is gone. I don't know.
Is he gone? What were you going to ask, though, RG?
No, I was going to ask. It's astonishing.
Oh, he's there. Yeah, he's still there.
He's still there, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I wish I can fast forward to, like, 10 months from now, like when the season is over. I literally want to know, okay, how these quarterbacks are going to project or perform in their rookie years. Because I think Howell, just looking at the game tape and the type of competition that he's facing right now, I think he's a better quarterback than everyone outside of Trevor Lawrence right now in this, right? And they're giving so much into these guys. And then you have analysts saying next year's quarterback class,
I don't know what
does not look good. I'm like, what are you doing? Howell just looks purely natural.
Howell, Rattler.
I love Rattler.
Jaden Daniels is in that class.
USC guy.
Slovis is in that class.
And then don't worry about there's going to be sleepers.
Ritter,
right?
from
that no one's talking about right now.
Desmond Ritter from Cincinnati, who could have came out this series in that class. Like,
but Howell, though,
kids in that. Yeah, Howell's my boy, bro.
Howell is like, and I'm like, so who's going to get him? I think Houston's going to get him next year because Houston's going to be terrible this year, man.
You know what the thing is? That guy's everyone's gonna retract that statement if Howell balls out this year.
Yeah,
when he lost Newsome, Brown, Carter, and Javonte Williams.
Oh Lord, he
lost a bunch. He lost like all of his weapons.
And that defense is losing people too. So their program cannot replenish like other big.
Houston has the first round pick next year.
Yeah,
I think so.
That's how we gypped them out of that too.
We'll get it somehow.
I thought we gypped them too.
Yeah.
I think that Stanford guy is gonna be real good.
He looks like what's it called? Like Andrew Luck, like reborn Andrew Luck.
We're talking about Davis
Mills. Yeah.
Well, I've talked about Dave. See, I saw Larry's show where that Puerto Rican retard came up and was talking about Davis Mills.
Yeah.
I was the first person talking about Davis Mills on YouTube. So shout out to you idiot, because I know you obviously still watch the show. Second of all, the thing with Davis Mills is he has no elite traits. He just does everything really good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, so he kicks everyone's ass.
Remember, I brought him up. He's my number 5 quarterback. I have him in front of Mac Jones, bro.
Yeah.
And then Pete was probably like, "Oh, let me check him out. Let me look at a highlight package. What do we got here?" You know,
he's better than Tua.
Bro, this guy, if it ain't one name, he just moves off to another name. First it's Watson, then it's Fields, now it's Mills. Bro, by this guy's selection, we should be trading for a quarterback and drafting 2 in the fucking first 3 rounds of the draft, bro.
You saw that? You saw that? I think it was a tweet when everybody was jumping on Joy Taylor. How they said, "Okay, Joy, is this your mock?" And I think every pick was quarterback. I was
oh yeah, that was hilarious. Yeah.
I was dying. Man. I was like, "Damn, that's Pete Shrab right there." Every freaking quarterback, bro.
Shout out to the queen of thickness, Joy Taylor.
You know, she good.
Yeah, he's always like every time he's on Larry's show. Oh, we need to get a quarterback.
We're taking a quarterback.
We're
trading back up.
Same shit. That's why you know he doesn't know anything, because he can't talk about anything else.
RD went crazy.
It's literally the same shit every time, bro. The guy comes on just to circle a wagon for 2 hours, and a guy like Drew Brew, every time he comes on, says, "Oh, I'm out."
Remember in The Simpsons? Remember when Homer, they were cooking a pig. Remember, Homer and Bart were cooking a pig, and then the pig somehow just flies to the sky, and then they're chased.
They get stuck in that like water tunnel in the dam, and they get pushed out. And then Smithers and Mr. Burns is like, "Hey, yo, will you write a check to charity?" Yeah,
my pig's flying. But wait,
hey, Pete is like that. Pete is like that sheep that falls into the crack. Like they have to get him out once, and then he falls back into it. Yeah.
The funny thing about that joke was that they were roasting the pig, and then somehow they hadn't the thing started falling down the hill. The whole barbecue, and then they're chasing it down, and Homer is like, "It's so good, it's so good." That's how people feel about like their dreams of getting another quarterback. It was Deshaun Watson.
It was the draft. It's so good.
It's so good. Like Tua's gonna hold the Lombardi, and they're like, "It's gone." I know.
No, you know what the thing is?
No, there's an.
You know, you can already tell what the narrative's being set up is. When Tua is successful this year,
it's everyone else.
Everyone else is going to get credit, bro.
Yep. No, the weapons is going to be like, the weapons and the coaching.
Name a quarterback
without weapons.
I mean, we really want to go. Like, even Aaron Rodgers needs Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones, bro.
Look at Justin Herbert, though. Justin Herbert had Penei Sewell. What did that do for him? Give him the weapons. Look what that did for him. Like he can evade sacks because of his athleticism.
I got one for you. Was Brady really seriously pushing the ball downfield before Randy Moss showed up?
No, that's true.
No.
They went perfect, man. They went undefeated with Randy, man.
Bro, and then after Moss left, he had developed that aspect of his game, and it stuck with them, bro.
Right.
Like, dude, this is not rocket science, bro.
Didn't they have Marshall Faulk for my God, Marshall Faulk for Peyton Manning? Imagine Marshall Faulk is waiting there.
Here you go.
Even Kurt Warner.
At his prime.
Kurt Warner had Terry Holt and
Adrian James
and Marshall Faulk.
Peyton
Manning had the edge, but bro, this guy had Dallas Clark, okay? He had Reggie Wayne, and he had Marvin Harrison.
And that O-line was legit. And that defense was legit. And they still lost to the... How many times did they lose to New England? That constantly.
Look at Drew Brees, what he's had. Woo!
Yeah.
Bro, I'm just sitting here saying, look at what Drew Brees was in his first couple years in San Diego when they didn't have much around him except LaDainian Tomlinson.
Graham, Marquise Colson, Reggie Bush.
He lost his job. Bro, he lost his job to Doug Flutie, and then they drafted Phillip Rivers, bro.
Look who Eli had.
And look at Phillip Rivers. I mean, he had Antonio Gates, Vincent Jackson, LaDainian Tomlinson. Like, all great quarterbacks have weapons, bro. Even our own Marino, bro. He had the Marcus.
Yin and yang, bro. Yin and yang.
You look at what the Falcons had when they
all
went to
that takes is a little fucking research. Literally. That's all it takes is a little research for someone like him.
It just takes a little common sense.
Here's a fun stat.
It's just a little
common sense.
Name the players that we've been naming. Bro.
No, but the concept, if you've watched football the last 20 years or 15 years, you know that's a fact. You don't have to know the names, you know?
Dan Marino had the fucking Marx brothers, bro. He had Irving Fryar early on. He had OJ McDuffie, bro. Like
Chris Jensen, Tony
guys, real quick.
Even
real
Joe
quick.
Montana had Jerry Rice.
Real quick.
Reason.
Let's look at a recent one.
And number 33 was
Tom Brady.
Steve Young had Rice and Terrell Owens, bro.
And Waters.
Let's look at a recent entry. Tom Brady left New England to what? Go to Tampa when they had Mike
Arsenal.
They had they had all those weapons over there. And what happened? They won a Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
It's recent.
Right away. And he threw 3 interceptions. 3 interceptions in the conference final game in the national. 3, and it didn't matter. Why? Because his defense was lights out too.
I think the greatest one is like what Reason said at the beginning of the season. Look what happened for Josh Allen when they got him. What's his name? Diggs. Yeah.
When I called that last, bro. Even look at what's his face. Brett Favre had weapons when he was in Green Bay.
Oh my God! Yes.
Oh man.
Sharp, brother.
Right.
Yeah.
Sterling Sharp. What was the other? What was the receiver?
And the running back. There was a running back too.
The running back, yeah.
What, the Packers? Donald Driver?
Donald Driver, but he also had the one that started with an F in his last name.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Was it Freeman?
Packers.
In 96?
Yeah, Freeman.
In 96?
Freeman,
yeah. Freeman. Like he had weapons, bro.
Yeah, tight end.
Didn't he have a badass tight end?
What about Elway? What about Elway when he won the Super Bowls?
He's a tight end that basically
he had like amazing
bro, look at how good both sides
Davis, Randy,
for Jim Kelly when he went to 4 straight on both sides of the ball, bro. Bro,
do you know what?
You go back and watch those games where he beat Marino. Kelly did not beat Marino. Thurman Thomas beat the Dolphins in Marino, bro.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man.
And that field, that stupid frozen field that has no grass. It was a skating rink.
Antonio
Freeman.
Yeah.
Who was the tight end that they had? That
the
Brett
big
Favre
tight
had?
end about 11, 12 years ago. No, 15 years ago.
Sterling Sharp. Was it?
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
he was a receiver. No, he was
as big as a tight end, but
what was his name?
No, he was a receiver. I forgot. Now I'm remembering.
Bubba something?
Bubba Frank.
Yeah, it was Bubba Frank.
Rogers. Excuse me, Rogers had a bunch of weapons when he Drivers and Jennings, right? And then Driver.
The thing that pees me off the most is when people say for Tua, well, nobody complained about the weapons before. I'm like, we all been complaining about the weapons, even when Fitzpatrick was there. It's like we've always complained.
When he had the weapons. Put the Arizona game on. He had the weapons.
And the play calling, RD. That was the only thing that Conti was allowed to call plays.
But
he had all the weapons, and we fucking won.
Wait.
Yeah, but Tua has proven he can win. He can come close to winning a game without
guys
to throw to.
Great point, right now. That shows his greatness. Yes.
So that's what I was so happy. He can win. Look how he beat New England
with a
fifth string. They're all fifth stringers, and he beat 22 points. But Chiefs back-to-back weeks, right? He had no weapons on his rookie year with Gailey calling plays. God knows how.
And then Justin Herbert throw to Lynn Bowden and Malcolm Perry
But reason here's the thing: 2017, market summer of 2017. to today, Tua has lost only 5 games in his life. This guy's a bum. Like the last 5 years, he has lost 5 games.
I'm going to say Jakeem Grant's lucky he plays on a team with Tua. Could you imagine Jakeem Grant played with Tom Brady and he dropped 4 passes like that from Brady? He might question his existence.
Bro,
or even Marino back in the day. God help him, he'd be dead.
At the sideline, Tom Brady was suplex Grant.
Dude.
I'm telling you now. I'm telling you right now.
And that's another thing. Another thing Herbert had over him. Herbert had an offensive-minded head coach in Anthony Lynn, and he had Pep Hamilton.
Not anymore.
No,
Not
I know. But he had Pep Hamilton. He had Pep Hamilton, who basically, dude, that guy groomed Luck at Stanford, and then when he came to Indianapolis had a top 5 offense under him.
Preach.
And his wide receivers never got injured the whole year. Allen missed like 3 games.
And like I said, you know, the one thing Tua's got over him is he's got continuity and familiarity with the playbook and the terminology, while Herbert now has a defensive-minded coach, a whole new quarterbacks coach, a whole new playbook, and he's got to learn a whole new terminology. I wouldn't be surprised if he stays stagnant or regresses this year, bro.
And
he's got a donut.
MVP.
He's got a donut versus New England. No one should forget that
This
game.
is what I say. Think of it. Okay, first of all, he knows Brian Flores. But who do you think Belichick was calling after he played them? Anthony Lynn to say you got something special, or Brian Flores to say, yo, you got something special? He was calling Brian Flores because he did the same thing he did to Herbert. He took away the passing game and the passing lanes, but the difference between Tua and Herbert, Tua still found a way to beat him, bro.
With what? 5th stringers and when has he lost to a rookie quarterback? He just destroyed the rookie of the year by giving him 0 points. Unbelievable. He can't write this up. At his home too, in LA on a short week.
What made Tua's victory over Belichick even more great is this freaking guy
He
on my
rushed for
profile
2.
pic. This guy on my profile pic handcuffed him through the whole entire game and season. I'm sorry, man. But
his play calling was atrocious.
When you call a draw on 3rd and freaking long, I'm sorry. You need to be fired.
He converted it though. It's funny.
His conservative play calling killed the momentum, and when Tua gets a momentum going, he always
locked him up. Locked him up.
And then
like your point,
and then Tua,
like your point,
the
Pyro
momentum
there with
dies down. The momentum dies down. I told Rhino, I said, Rhino, I think it's freaking Gailey, man. It has to be Gailey.
Bro, what do you mean? I was calling for Gailey's ass. I was calling for ask Rhino. I was calling for Gailey on this channel. I was calling for Gailey's ass before Fitz was even replaced, bro.
I wanted this dude. I wanted Gailey to get off those freaking NyQuil, get off that lazy boy, and go down to the sideline.
Yeah, reason you kept saying they were,
but like even
I agree.
Rhino, I knew we were up Schitt's Creek with no paddle after the Seattle game, bro.
We should have beat this team by this much. We should have beat this team by this much.
Remember Cincinnati at halftime? They just opened it up like no tomorrow. First half, we couldn't run shit. Second half, Gailey was just he made it a point to make sure that Tua was treated as a rookie.
Yeah,
and it's like, brother, just let the man breathe a little, at least a little.
And what reason also call, I got to give credit to real quick. I'm going to give credit to a reason call is that when has Gailey developed a quarterback?
Yes, that's such a great point.
Let alone won a
God,
playoff game, bro.
Oh, made a playoff game.
He never
and
did
the other thing
or beat the Bills.
Bro, you look at you look at this absolute jabroni of a play caller, man. Like it was clearly like, dude, I will never live down that Raiders game and how as soon as Tua comes out, it's okay. Now let's expose Gesicki versus Raekwon.
Exactly.
Like, bro, what are you doing right here? And dude, you remember near the end of the season, Rhino, when I brought it up on this channel, how I found out that he threw out all his notes on defensive coordinators when he retired and he was asking people around the league that he knew for their notes. I'm like, this guy's fucking lost, bro.
But didn't it come out? Didn't it come out that when Tua went in, they shrunk the playbook?
Their playbook, yeah.
Which I can't believe. I can't believe why.
Bro.
All the stuff that was happening makes no sense to me. That's
Tua
why
goes out and runs the no huddle against the Chiefs, almost brings us back, and then next week, I don't like that no huddle nonsense.
I don't know, man.
So you're telling me right now you've identified a strength of your rookie quarterback, but you're not going to play to it? What kind of coach are you, bro?
No,
he clearly
clearly
had personal motivation, and every Zoom I sat in, I had to hear, Fitz this, Fitz that, Fitz is the reason why I came out of retirement. Bro, his motivation was clearly, Fitz is my boy. Look what I do with Fitz. I don't want to play with your rookie toy. Look at, I'll limit him and make him look bad, bro.
You even showed it when that interview. Tua said that him and Gailey could never get on the same page on play calls.
Yeah, wasn't that the first
Tua
game?
said that the first game. Tua said that,
right?
Bro, remember he said not only
it
wasn't the first, but he said not only him, but other players. Remember, he said he basically made a point of saying other players too.
It was damning.
Understand.
It was
damning. It put him out there, bro. I can't wait. I'm sitting in on Chris Greer's press conference tomorrow. I can't wait.
It's tomorrow? Excellent.
Yeah, 11 a.m. I'm sitting.
What are they going to talk about?
Draft, I have no idea.
Draft.
Yeah, probably.
I know,
hey, but you know what?
I just figured they won't ask him.
Hey, but you know what? It was one thing that had my head scratching. Especially like in the Raiders game when the playoffs were on the line. If you know this kid is bred. He was
Clutch.
not that he was just clutch, but he was groomed under high pressure situations by Nick Saban. He taught him.
But how can you remember? He
those
threw away his
situations.
notebook, Irvin.
Exactly. Yeah.
Remember.
But I'm like, I don't understand. I'm like,
real
look,
quick.
Sorry,
ask Reason this. Did he really ask around the league for notes and shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People he knew. He asked around people that he knew.
Like, I don't understand. If you're in the fourth quarter, the game is 16-13. It's not even that. It's a 3-point game. If you know this guy is the number one rookie in the NFL in fourth quarter efficiency, has a higher QBR rating than Burrow and Herbert, has more touchdowns, has more has thrown for less interceptions and stuff, is better against the blitz. Why didn't you play up to his strengths and run the no huddle?
Didn't know it.
Spread out the formation.
I'll guarantee you, he didn't know it.
That's what he does best.
He was never prepared to.
No,
he was
he
never
wasn't.
prepared to play with him and reason is right, man. And he brought it up so many times.
This is all
He
hindsight.
was. No one told him he was ever going to play. He thought it was going to be Fitzpatrick the whole year, and then when it all showed up, he was sidelined.
Yeah,
right.
There's a reason why they didn't tell Gailey directly they were making a quarterback change, and he found out through the media, and that's probably because they knew he was too emotionally tied to Fitz.
Yeah,
Fitzy.
But I gotta be honest with you. The reason, if I'm the head coach and that's the way I feel, I fire him that week and I bring in Godsey. I mean, seriously, because it could have gotten worse.
He fired him at halftime at Buffalo game. He fired him. He literally fired him at halftime.
And just like Reason point,
because he brought in the other coordinators.
Just like Reason pointed out, man, that press conference of Chan Gailey after Kansas City about his comments about the no huddle stuff regarding the Tua. It just showed you everything, bro. That just
that would be the firing point for me.
It just,
yes.
It just showed you that he had favoritism with Ryan Fitzpatrick.
He had a hard on for Fitz.
Yeah.
Shout out to Auntie 100. He just donated 1558. He says emphasis on number 1, wins up.
Nice.
That is nice.
Cool. Nice.
All right, I'm about to hit 2.5 hours. Make your point, RD, and then I'm going to get into final thoughts.
No, I just when Tua was in college, he lost those 2 games. Go back to those 2 games. Just look at the highlight reel of those 2 games. What happened? How many drop passes was versus Clemson? Tua made some foolish mistakes, but he was always in those games, but the defense was completely destroyed on both games. Same thing with Buffalo. The defense was completely destroyed. But yeah, we blame Tua. There's only one game we should blame Tua, okay? And that is Denver. In the last 5 years of his life, he's got real bad game, which is fucking Denver, that you can put it all on him. Fine.
No,
Give
you
me
can't
a break,
even do
man.
that. You gotta blame the whole line.
6 sacks. I know, 6 sacks, but it's insane. All they can say about fucking Tua is this. I don't see big play, big arm. I don't see it. You don't see anything. You're a loser.
Damn, how you change your voice?
You're a loser.
Hey, but regarding that,
I legit thought
Shucks.
What's the guy who's like Pilgrims?
Which
one?
one?
What's his name? Damn it, I can't think of his name right now.
Who?
Which one?
When he's like,
which show?
I can't really remember. He's a famous Western actor who does the
John Wayne.
John Wayne. You sound like John Wayne, man.
Oh, yeah. I got different voices. No, it like the logic is this. It's just ratings. Give me Can we trade Tua now? Can we trade the 6th pick for the 90th pick overall and get some for Watson next year after all of the sexual harassments are gone and we can battle the Eagles for they're insane. Like, this is why our entire the entire coaching staff, and they've asked what's his name, Coach Flo, and they've like, Coach Flo, what is the hardest thing you have to deal with in coaching? And he told them with a smile, you guys, you idiots, thank you. You ruin everything. Oh, Lord.
That's why I want to see Reason go down there and just literally slap Armando.
Oh, God.
It doesn't matter what you think about Tua. Yeah.
Armando, so... Oh, goodness.
No quarterback has ever had to go through this in their rookie year. Not even the idiot from the Chargers in the that they got second overall. Like, no quarterback has ever had to go through any. And the way he handles it, he goes on the some of these shows, and they're like, Tua, should I buy your jersey? Or are you going to be on the NFL next year?
I think
like,
that's
what
why it
doing?
is. I think that's why it is, man.
Question.
They want him to snap. They want to kill the
Najee was like, he recruited me. He wanted me to go to Alabama. He was reading his Bible, and then he wanted me to go to Alabama. The guy is the nicest person in the whole world, and they're like, he's garbage. But hold on, man, he doesn't lose.
But Sam Darnold's great.
Everybody's great. People that play only 10 games are great. They're Hall of Famers. Draft them 5 overall, trade all the picks to get these guys. But Tua is like, well,
all right, Pilgrim, let's get to the closing thoughts now, Pilgrim.
Okay, Pilgrim.
All right, Jeff, let's get your final thoughts here, bro.
All right. So I know we heard all the rumors with 6. I ultimately think we end up staying at 6. And it's not that none of us would want Kyle Pitts, like Reason said. I think it's just preparing ourselves that it's going to be one of the Bama receivers. And that's fine. I'm more concerned with 18. Like I said, it's not that I hate this defensive end group at 18. It's just I love this class so much. Like Artie brought up, like everyone's brought up. I like Boogie Basham, like Joseph Asai. I would rather get my edge later on, but I just have a gut feeling they're going to take an edge at 18. And it's not a knock. Like, I hate edge in this year, but it's just, I don't know. I would rather go later on. You know what I mean? And get like a Tevin Jenkins instead. Get somebody that'll really help our team. But like I said, it speaks more to the depth. I'm just scared the Fluker signings means we're out on tackle. That's what scares me in the deep draft class with offensive linemen. I think we're going to center in the top 50, which will be nice, but I think I'd be pissed if we completely punt on tackle this year.
All right, let's go with Florida born, Kentucky grown. Your final thoughts.
I did have one question, Reason. When do you think the DB Israel Mukwamu will be going? Do you think he'll be like in the 3rd or the 4th round?
I haven't really watched much of him.
Okay, but I'm just ready for this draft. I'm happy either way. Pitts, Waddle, Smith. I'm just really excited to see Tua have some weapons around him. Fins up.
Thank God.
Rhino, let's get your final thoughts, buddy.
Excited about the news about the press conference for Guerrero tomorrow. I can't wait to hear about that. And And I think it's pretty much written on the wall at this point. It's either going to be Pitts, Waddle, or Smith. I mean, and I'm not upset with any of them at 6. So I don't know what the real possibility is to move back. I don't think that really makes sense to me to move back to 9 because I don't know. There's too many things can go wrong if you're looking for one of those 3 players. So just fins up, and it's almost here, man. 9 days, right? Yep, 9 days.
9 days.
Yep.
Baby. 9 days. Let's go.
Okay, well,
RD, let's hear your final thoughts, buddy.
first of all, this wait is not getting any shorter. It's literally feels like it's getting longer. Each day gets longer. I feel like we have now 2 months left. Like it literally, I can't wait because honestly, we need a running back, a good one of the top 3 running backs. We need them because you're gonna get edge in the second round, and you cannot really distinguish the edge as much as you can distinguish the running backs. And we desperately need a running back. I think more than we need the edge because of the scheme fit and because of the way our defense is laid out, that they're always going to generate pressure just because of their scheme, their 3-4 scheme. But I'm sold on guys like Quincy Roche, man. I'm sold on guys that we can get later on in the second round, and they will have they have as much risk associated with that pick as you would with guys that you're getting in the first round, because there is no much distinguishment between first and second in the edge, but it is on the running back. So Javonte or Najee, because of their fit, I hope they get at least one of them.
Can I make a point really quick, Reason? Sorry, not to cut in.
Go ahead.
The main difference between, and Artie just made a great point, first round versus second round. Philip Merling was a huge bust. Why does nobody hate Philip Merling? He was a second round pick. Charles Harris was a late first. If you take a defensive end at 18, 30 seconds. Sorry, pretty much almost a second round pick.
Yeah,
but it's like, why wasn't he hated? Because he wasn't a mid round first round pick. If you take
and no move up,
18,
and there's no move up. There was no trade up.
Correct.
For him either.
But he also got the interception that got us in the playoffs versus Brett Favre.
That's true.
That was a big, and sometimes it's iconic like that. Look at Tyree from the Giants, man. No one like, who the hell was that? And then it's sometimes it's like we will take any playoff appearance because we've been garbage for too long, man.
You said that with a fury, bro.
Well, it's been my whole life, man. Like I started being fans with them in the late 90s, and I'm like, this looks like a good logo. All right, Marino, we were good. And then Brady came along and ruined everything.
Pyro, let's get your final thoughts, buddy.
Well, man, we got only 9 days. Can't wait. And I agree. It feels like it's getting longer and longer each day. But I feel like we should always just, focus on offense in the first 2 rounds. Maybe just the first round. But, I just feel like we need to get the offense somewhat respectable. And I do hope that hopefully all the offensive players show up in the voluntary training camp. Because, the offense is usually the one that takes the longest to jail. So hopefully
they were there, though. They all showed up.
No, I'm talking about the voluntary training camp coming up, the upcoming one right now.
Okay.
This year. So hopefully they all show up so we can get some type of chemistry going early. But that's all I got. Fins up.
Fins up, my friend.
Irving, I believe you're last.
Yeah, I think we should stay put at 6. I really don't see any point in trading down. I think Pitts is their guy. I mean, he is a scheme fit. He's what they want on offense. Chase could be a possible second. Who knows? If these guys are gone, let's say before the Dolphins pick or whatever, I could see them trading down. Maybe trading down, maybe with somebody like Denver or maybe the Cowboys or something like that. And, maybe get an extra first round pick or an extra second, maybe next year or something like that. It's whatever value that we get, whatever draft capital that we acquire is just extra, and 18th pick, that's anybody's guess. Hopefully they could if they really want to really, open up their offense and really protect their franchise quarterback, I think the smart pick there is right tackle, or somebody like Sam Cosmi, somebody like Tevin Jenkins. But I think it's looking like Najee might be their guy at 18. Maybe it's the chemistry thing. Maybe it's with Tua. Maybe it's the thing with that they know that he knows their playbook inside and out. Just the terminologies are different. But at some point they really have to address that edge. You gotta help out Ugba, man, and we gotta focus on creating more pressure without blitzing, man. And hopefully we keep our corners together, man, because corners are a pass rush's best friend is good corners, and they both benefit from each other. So, I think I don't think this draft is gonna be disappointing. So I can't wait. Like I said, this is going to determine the future of our franchise. So, fins up, man. Got nothing more to say.
Yeah. All right. So, all right, guys, we are going to wrap it up. I'll be back tomorrow night with my big board for the top 10 centers in this draft. There's no honorable mentions because it's thin as shit. So I'll be back tomorrow night, probably around 8:30ish. And I'll go over my top 10 big board for centers in this draft. And then I'll be back Thursday, and I'll be basically covering players I think the Dolphins should avoid drafting in this draft. And then Friday night, I'll do an open show. But until then, y'all already know what time it is. Fins up all day, every day. Everyone have a good night. Stay happy, healthy.